Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto had been the one to leave the village instead of Sasuke. Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. One Naruto Uzumaki was packing his backpack. As he was doing so, his left shoulder pulsed with pain. Naruto gripped his shoulder while muttering a string of curses. Stupid curse mark. Why the hell did Orochimaru place it on me instead of Sasuke? Wasn't Sasuke his original target? Naruto asked as he dropped to one knee. His eyes widened, however, when he remembered Orochimaru's exact words. Flashback. Naruto had managed to block the giant snake from getting a paralyzed Sasuke. Naruto? Sasuke asked. Naruto then looked at Sasuke, revealing that his hair was wilder than usual, his whisker marks were darker and bolder, and his once cerulean blue eyes were now blood red with slits for pupils. You okay, scaredy cat? Naruto asked, quoting Sasuke's very same question that he asked during Team 7's first C-rank turned A-rank mission. Sasuke watched in shock as Naruto easily pushed the snake back before jumping atop its head and stabbing its head with his claw-like nails and raking it down its back as he ran at Orochimaru. As he neared Orochimaru, Naruto jumped off the snake. The snake summoner looked on with intrigue. Naruto has become quite powerful. Even more powerful than Sasuke, and with nine-tailed fox inside of him he could become even stronger. Orochimaru thought. As Naruto descended on Orochimaru, the sound ninja jumped back, causing Naruto to hit the tree branch. Orochimaru then appeared on another tree branch as he smiled a crooked smile. The Sharingan pales in comparison to the Nine-Tails' power. He will make a better vessel for me than Sasuke. Orochimaru thought. Having made up his mind, he formed three hand seals. Naruto quickly recovered and turned toward the tree branch Orochimaru was perched on. Hold still, you snake bastard! Naruto angrily yelled. Well done, Naruto. You passed with flying colors, Orochimaru said. Naruto gave Orochimaru a confused look. What do you mean passed? Naruto asked. Orochimaru continued to smile his crooked smile. You have proven to me that you are superior to Sasuke. That the power of the Nine-Tails is far more powerful than the Sharingan. So now I've decided to leave you with a gift, Orochimaru said. Suddenly, Orochimaru's neck extended before he reached Naruto and bit the left side of his neck. Naruto screamed in agony. Curse mark of heaven seal, Orochimaru muttered before he retracted his neck. Naruto dropped to his knees as he grabbed where Orochimaru bit him. Naruto's features returned to normal as the pain coursed through his body. Naruto! Sasuke screamed as he threw several shuriken at Orochimaru, but the snake easily deflected the shuriken. Sasuke then looked toward Sakura. Sakura, you go tend to Naruto while I hold off this guy, Sasuke ordered the pinkette. Okay, Sakura said before jumping over to the branch Naruto was on. Sasuke then glared at Orochimaru. What the hell did you do to Naruto? Sasuke angrily asked. Orochimaru chuckled. I merely gave him a little gift, Orochimaru said as he began to sink into the tree branch he was standing on. Sasuke quickly jumped toward the branch. Stop, Sasuke ordered. My name is Orochimaru. Should you wish to meet me again, then you had best get through this exam, Orochimaru said before completely submerging in the branch just as Sasuke landed on it. Sakura, meanwhile, reached Naruto as the blonde continued to scream in pain. She then looked at the spot to find that the three holes which showed that Naruto had been bit and changed into the three tomos of the Sharingan. Flashback end. Naruto shook off the pain that the curse mark always inflicted and finished packing. Lastly, Naruto undid his headband before placing it in his shuriken pouch and placed the picture of Team 7 in his backpack. He then put his backpack on before opening his window and jumping out. Meanwhile, Sakura was walking home. As she was walking, she couldn't shake the feeling that something bad was gonna happen tonight. She then looked up and stopped dead in her tracks as she saw one Naruto Uzumaki walking towards her. She also noticed that he had his backpack and he wasn't wearing his headband, which was strange considering she hardly ever saw him without it. Now that she thought about it, the first time she ever saw him without it, and him still being awake, too, was after Orochimaru had branded him with the curse mark. Flashback. Sakura had managed to pull Naruto and Sasuke under a tree, Sasuke being unconscious due to chakra exhaustion and Naruto being unconscious due to the curse mark, before she was attacked by three sound ninja named Dosu, Zaku, and Kin. Lee had come to her rescue, but sadly he was no match for Dosu's sound-style jutsu. Even teams 8 and 10 came to help, but their efforts proved futile against the sound ninja. When Kin grabbed Sakura by her hair, the pinkette was forced to use a kunai to cut her hair to get free. However, everyone's attention was drawn toward where Sasuke and Naruto lay due to the air becoming thick and hard to breathe. Sakura's eyes widened at what she saw. There stood Naruto with more unruly hair, claw-like nails, darker whisker marks, fawn-like K9s, and crimson eyes with slits for pupils, but he also had black flame-like tattoos along the left half of his face and body. Sakura, who did this to you? Naruto, Ninetales chakra/curse mark first state, asked as red and purple chakra swirled around him. He then looked toward the three-sound ninja and glared. Shit! His curse mark awakened. Dosu cursed. Naruto then appeared behind Dosu before grabbing his arms and pulling back. How dare you hurt my friends? I'll make you suffer, Naruto said as he continued to pull on Dosu's arms. Arg! Stop! Please! Dosu screamed in pain. Naruto continued to pull until a loud cracking sounded through the area. Naruto then let go of Dosu's arms, allowing the sound ninja to fall to the ground. Zaku dashed at Naruto, but the Ninetales Jinchuriki disappeared, causing Zaku to stop. Where are you, you bastard? Zaku yelled. Suddenly, Naruto appeared in front of Zaku and punched him in the jaw, sending him flying into a tree. Naruto then turned his attention on Kin. The sound Kunoichi was paralyzed with fear at seeing her teammates get taken down so easily. Naruto then started walking towards Kin. Sakura couldn't believe what she was seeing. This wasn't the loud-mouthed knucklehead ninja she knew. This new Naruto was more vicious and uncaring. Being unable to watch any longer as Naruto was being consumed by his new power, Sakura ran toward him and wrapped her arms around him from behind, causing Naruto to stop in his tracks. Naruto looked back at Sakura with surprise evident in his eyes. Sakura? Naruto asked. Sakura looked at Naruto with tear-filled eyes. Stop, Naruto. Please! This isn't you. This isn't the Naruto I know. I can't stand to see you act this way. Please stop! Sakura cried. Upon seeing Sakura's tears, Naruto's K9s, whisker marks, and nails returned to normal and the curse mark receded back to its original position on his neck. Lastly, his pupils changed back to normal as his eyes changed back to their original cerulean blue. Flashback end. Naruto walked past Sakura, waking her from her thoughts. What are you doing out this late, Naruto? Sakura asked. Naruto stopped in his tracks, but didn't respond. When he didn't answer, Sakura became worried. Naruto? Sakura asked. Go home, Sakura. It's none of your business, Naruto said. Sakura was taken aback by Naruto's response, but quickly recovered before glaring at the blonde. What do you mean it isn't my business? You're my teammate and friend, remember? Of course it's my business, Sakura replied angrily. When Naruto didn't respond with a comeback, Sakura's anger disappeared. Why do you have your backpack? Sakura asked. Naruto said nothing as Sakura tried to get him to answer. Tears welled up in Sakura's eyes as she began to realize what Naruto was doing. Where are you going, Naruto? Sakura asked as she tried to fight the tears threatening to spill out. Again Naruto didn't answer. Answer me, you idiot! Sakura yelled as she swung a fist at Naruto. However, the blonde held up his hand and grabbed Sakura's fist, stopping the attack and surprising the pinkette. I'm done being your punching bag, Sakura, Naruto said with no sign of emotion in his voice and still not turning to face Sakura. The pinkette couldn't fight the tears any longer and allowed them to spill out. Why are you leaving? Sakura asked. Why do you care? Wouldn't it be easier for you to win Sasuke's heart if I weren't here? Naruto answered with his own question. But we're all on the same team. You can't just leave. I don't want you to leave, Sakura confessed. At this, Naruto turned around and looked at Sakura with seriousness in his eyes. Didn't you say, when we did introductions with Kakashi-sensei, that you hated me? Naruto asked. Why should you care? Sakura's eyes widened as she remembered saying that the day Team 7 was formed. But I didn't know you that well back then. I've regretted saying that since that day, Sakura said. Naruto then let go of Sakura's hand and turned away. There's nothing left for me in a village where everyone hates me for something I had no control over, Naruto said. He then proceeded to try walking away, but Sakura quickly reached her hand out and grabbed Naruto's hand. What about your dream to become Hokage? Are you just gonna give up on that? Sakura asked as the tears kept coming. Naruto just looked over his shoulder at Sakura. How can I be Hokage of a village that will hate me no matter what? Naruto asked. Sakura's eyes widened as she loosened her grip on Naruto's hand. Naruto removed his hand from Sakura's before turning completely away from the pinkette. Goodbye, Sakura, said Naruto as he started walking away. Take me with you, Sakura blurted out, causing Naruto to stop dead in his tracks. You don't mean that, Naruto said. Yes, I do. If you won't listen to me and stay, then I'll go with you, Sakura said. You've got a mom and dad who love you. Do you think you could honestly abandon them? Naruto asked. Sakura opened her mouth to answer, but found she couldn't. Goodbye, Sakura, Naruto said as he attempted to leave again. If you leave, I'll scream, Sakura threatened. Suddenly, Naruto disappeared, causing Sakura to go wide-eyed. Sakura, thank you, Naruto, who had reappeared behind Sakura, said before tapping her on the back of her neck. Naruto, Sakura said before losing consciousness. As she fell forward, Naruto appeared in front of Sakura and caught the pinkette. He then lifted her into his arms before disappearing. Later. The Sound Four, consisting of Sakan/Yukon, Kidamaru, Jirobo, and Tayuya, were at Lone Pine Hill waiting for Orochimaru's chosen one. When is that bastard gonna get here? Tayuya asked as she began to lose her patience. Calm down, Tayuya. He will be here soon. Sakan/Yukon tried to keep Tayuya as calm as possible. Just then, Naruto appeared, causing the Sound Four to go on the defensive. Relax, it's just me, Naruto said. The Sound Four lowered their guard as they saw it was Naruto. You little fucker! You should know better than to sneak up on people as strong as us. We could have killed you within a second, Tayuya warned. Naruto scoffed. As if, Naruto said. Let's go. Sakan/Yukon, however, stopped Naruto. First, take this, Sakan/Yukon said as he handed Naruto a strange-looking black pill. What's this? Naruto asked. As of right now, your curse mark is only in its first stage, and it takes years to achieve the second stage. This pill, however, was developed by Lord Orochimaru to accelerate the process. However, you will have to die first, Sakan/Yukon explained. Naruto gave Sakan/Yukon a surprised look. What do you mean? Naruto asked. Sakan/Yukon chuckled. That pill was designed to cause the one who takes it to enter a death-like state. If you come out of it, then you should be able to access the second stage of the curse mark, Sakan/Yukon explained. Naruto, figuring he had nothing left to lose, took the pill. A few seconds later, Naruto collapsed to the ground. Come on, let's get him in the urn and get him to Lord Orochimaru, said Jirobo. The next morning, Sakura Haruno awoke in a panic to find that she was in her room, in her bed. How did I dash? Sakura began to ask before remembering her confrontation with Naruto. Sakura, thank you. Those words rang in her head as she kept playing the events back in her head. Are you finally waking up? Inner Sakura asked. What are you talking about? Finally waking up to what? Sakura thought. To the fact that you don't love Sasuke and that, in truth, you actually love Naruto, duh, Inner Sakura answered. Sakura's eyes widened in surprise. I do not love Naruto. I love Sasuke, Sakura thought. She could tell that her inner self rolled her eyes. That is total BS. If that were true, then why did you try to stop him from leaving, huh? If you didn't love him, then you could have just let him leave, but you didn't. You tried to stop him because you couldn't imagine a life without him, Inner Sakura explained. Sakura tried to make an excuse, but found she couldn't because she realized she really couldn't picture a life without the blonde knucklehead. Her eyes widened to the size of dinner plates as she finally realized that her inner self was right. All the time she had spent on Team 7 with Naruto had caused her feelings for Sasuke to change to a more brotherly/sisterly type, while her feelings for Naruto had changed from seeing him as just a friend to feelings of true love. That explained why she tried to stop him from leaving instead of letting him go, and why she was so upset when he wouldn't listen to reason. As quick as she could, Sakura jumped off her bed, slipped on her ninja sandals, and jumped out of the window toward the Hokage Tower. Hokage Tower. Tsunade Senju, the fifth Hokage and the slug Sannin, was sitting at her desk distraught at the news that had come in at dawn. Flashback. Tsunade was sitting at her desk while filling out paperwork lest she be on the receiving end of her disciple Shizen's nagging for not working. As she was filling out another file, Shizen came rushing in. Lady Tsunade! Shizen shouted. The Bustikage sighed as she looked up at her apprentice. I haven't had any sake in 2 days, Shizen, so relax, Tsunade said with a look of boredom. Shizen shook her head. It's not that. It's about Naruto. He's left the village! Shizen exclaimed. Tsunade's eyes widened in shock at the news. And Naruto has left the village? Tsunade thought. Tsunade's whole body went numb as she registered what Shizen just said. Shizen, however, was worried as she saw Tsunade wasn't moving, but was clearly in shock. Lady Tsunade? Lady Tsunade! Lady Tsunade! Shizen shouted the last part, trying to get the slug Sannin's attention. Without warning, Tsunade stood straight up, causing the chair to fall back. Get Shikamaru in here immediately! Tsunade ordered / shouted as she slammed her fists on the desk. Flashback end. Tsunade massaged the bridge of her nose. How did this happen? Naruto has always been a bright and cheery boy. His dream was to become Hokage, but now he's left the village. What happened to you, Naruto? Tsunade thought. The fifth Hokage then thought back to hers and Jiraiya's battle with Orochimaru. Flashback. Naruto was standing in front of Tsunade, who was kneeling on one knee. What do you think you can do? I'm far stronger than you, Kabuto taunted. Tsunade looked toward Kabuto and then back at Naruto. Just get out of here, Naruto, Tsunade ordered. No way. I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way, Naruto shouted. Kabuto growled in frustration. I'll end your pathetic ninja way here, Kabuto yelled as he ran at Naruto with his hands cloaked in blue chakra that took the shape of blades. As he ran, he took out a kunai. As Kabuto got close, Tsunade closed her eyes. When she heard the sound of the kunai piercing skin, she opened her eyes only for them to go wide with shock. Naruto had caught Kabuto's hand that had the kunai in it, but the kunai had pierced through the middle of his left hand. Naruto then held out his right hand before a shadow clone appeared and placed both its hands over Naruto's right hand. Naruto's headband fell off as the wind swept around him. Within a second, a ball of blue chakra formed in his right hand before the clone dispelled. The curse mark then overtook the left side of Naruto's body and face as the jutsu turned purple in color. That can't be Dash, Kabuto said before being interrupted. Rasengan! Naruto, curse mark first state, shouted before slamming the purple Rasengan into Kabuto's stomach. The sound spy was sent flying back before hitting a boulder. Tsunade's eyes widened at the sight before her. That moron managed to master the Rasengan? Incredible, Tsunade thought. Suddenly, Naruto fell to his knees before landing face first on the ground. Tsunade quickly moved towards the genin before rolling him on his back. She then unzipped his orange and blue jumpsuit jacket before placing both hands on his chest. Green chakra soon encased her hands as Tsunade began treating Naruto's injuries. She watched as the black flame-like tattoos of the curse mark receded back into the three-tomoed-shaped mark on the left side of Naruto's neck. Suddenly, Jiraiya appeared beside Tsunade, followed by Orochimaru appearing beside Kabuto as the sound spy pulled himself out of the indentation he made upon making contact with the boulder. Jiraiya, this mark on Naruto's neck is Dash, Tsunade said as she looked up at Jiraiya. I know. The curse mark, Jiraiya said without taking his eyes off Orochimaru. The snake Sannin chuckled, causing Tsunade to look toward him. I gave him that mark for showing me that he had become more powerful than Sasuke, Orochimaru said. Tsunade glared at her former comrade. Soon I will have the power of a tailed beast, Orochimaru said as he started chuckling. At that moment, Tsunade stood up. I've heard enough from you, Orochimaru. I'll die before I let you touch Naruto, Tsunade said as she began flying through hand signs. Jiraiya quickly began forming hand signs as well. Orochimaru looked toward Kabuto. Kabuto, do it, Orochimaru said. Kabuto nodded his head as he too began forming hand signs. Suddenly, all three bit their right thumb before slamming their right hands on the ground. A seal appeared on the ground underneath their hands. Summoning Jutsu! All three shouted before smoke billowed out of the seals. When the smoke cleared, it revealed the slug summon, Katsuyu, the toad summon, Gamabunta, and the snake summon, Manda. Orochimaru chuckled. Just like old times, Orochimaru said with his crooked grin. Tsunade and Jiraiya glared at Orochimaru. As of today, we are Sannin no more, Tsunade yelled the last part. Flashback end. Tsunade sighed as she looked out the window at the village. I won't let you go that easily. I still have that bet on you becoming Hokage, idiot, Tsunade thought. A knock at the office door stirred Tsunade from her thoughts. Come in, Tsunade ordered. The door then opened to reveal Shikamaru. You summoned me, Lady Hokage? Shikamaru asked while looking at Tsunade through tired eyes. I apologize for waking you so early, but I'm afraid it can't wait," Tsunade said. Shikamaru gave Tsunade a confused look. "What is it?" Shikamaru asked. Meanwhile, Sakura was jumping along the rooftops trying to get to the Hokage Tower as quickly as she could. "I have to hurry. I can't let Naruto be taken away. He has to be brought back so I can tell him how I truly feel about him," Sakura thought as she pushed as much chakra as she could into her legs to speed up. Soon she arrived at the Hokage Tower and ran inside and up to the Hokage office door. She stopped at the door and held her hand up getting ready to knock when she heard a voice. "What? Naruto has left the village to join Orochimaru?" A male voice asked, to which Sakura recognized as Shikamaru. "That's correct. For what reasons I don't know, but this will be an S-rank retrieval mission. Odds are Orochimaru has some of his top men escorting Naruto to wherever his hideout is. You and a squad of ninja will pursue the sound ninja who have him, retrieve Naruto Uzumaki and bring him back home to the leaf. Understand?" Sakura heard Tsunade say. "Yeah," Shikamaru's voice said. "You can pick whoever you want for the squad," Tsunade's voice said. "I've got just the people in mind," Shikamaru's voice said. Sakura heard Tsunade chuckle. "The mission begins as soon as you have assembled your squad." "Dismissed," Tsunade's voice said. Sakura quickly made her way down the hall to make it appear as though she had just arrived before the door to the office opened and Shikamaru came out before running past her. "I've gotta hurry," Sakura thought as she ran after Shikamaru. Later at the gate, Shikamaru, Kiba and Akamaru, Choji, Niji and Sasuke were gathered at the Hidden Leaf Gate. "I still can't believe Naruto left the village," Choji said. Kiba nodded his head. "Yeah, who would have thought?" Kiba said. Sasuke, however, was lost in thought as he tried wrapping his mind around what was happening. "I can't believe the Dobe left. He always swore he would protect his village, but now he's abandoning the very village he swore to protect," Sasuke thought. He was snapped from his thoughts when he felt a hand on his shoulder. Sasuke looked and saw that the hand belonged to Niji. "Don't worry. We'll get Naruto back. Naruto spent so much time saving others from the darkness that he became consumed in it. Now he is waiting for someone to save him from that same darkness," Niji said. "But what if we can't stop him?" Sasuke asked. "If anyone can pierce through the darkness Naruto is immersed in, it's you," Niji said. Sasuke nodded his head in understanding. "Alright, our target is Naruto. If the Sound tried to stop us, we are to take care of them, but as I said before, our main goal is retrieving Naruto," Shikamaru said. However, when they were about to leave, Sasuke felt a presence close by. Just then Sakura appeared. "Sakura? What are you doing here?" Sasuke asked as he approached the pinkette, whose head was bent down slightly so her bangs concealed her eyes. "Please," Sakura said. Sasuke gave her a look of confusion before he noticed tears hitting the ground in front of Sakura's feet. The pinkette looked up at Sasuke with tear-filled eyes. Please bring Naruto back to me, please. This is my once-in-a-lifetime request," Sakura said as she hugged herself in a futile attempt to stop herself from crying. Sasuke turned away from Sakura. That loser will come back either willingly, or by me dragging his ass back. Count on it," Sasuke said, causing Sakura to look at him with eyes wide in surprise. "Consider it my promise of a lifetime." Sakura smiled a small smile as she watched the Naruto retrieval team head out to get Naruto and bring him home. And I'm gonna skip to the battle at the final valley. If you want to read about Niji, Shikamaru, Choji and Kiba's battle with the Sound 4, then please wait until I release Naruto Chronicles V.2 Volume 5, or rent Naruto Volumes 23, 24 and 25 at the Logan County Library, which is next door to the IGA and Dollar Mart. Final Valley. Naruto was standing atop the head of the statue of Madara Uchiha when Sasuke arrived and landed atop the head of the statue of the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. "Naruto!" Sasuke shouted in an attempt to get Naruto's attention. Naruto, seemingly ignoring Sasuke, then started walking away. "Are you just gonna ignore me, Naruto?" Sasuke asked, causing Naruto to stop in his tracks. "What do you want, Sasuke?" Naruto asked without turning toward the Uchiha. "I want you to stop this and come back to the village with me," Sasuke said. Naruto just chuckled. "And who would be there waiting for me? I don't have a family, the villagers hate my guts, and the only girl I've ever loved hates me," Naruto said. Sasuke gritted his teeth. "Sakura doesn't hate you. She begged me to bring you back to her," Sasuke argued. Naruto then turned towards Sasuke, causing the Uchiha's eyes to widen in shock. The curse mark had covered the left side of Naruto's face, but Naruto's left eye was now black with a gold iris. She wants me to come back? Only so she has a punching bag to hit while trying to win you over. No thanks, I'll pass. Naruto, curse mark first state, said as he turned to walk away. Suddenly, Naruto found himself on his back with Sasuke standing over him with his right hand clenched in a fist and cocked back. Sasuke then swung and punched Naruto in the face, causing the Ninetales Jinchuriki's head to jerk to the right. The curse mark receded and Naruto's left eye returned to normal as he looked at Sasuke as if the punch didn't faze him in the slightest. You're coming back to the leaf even if I have to drag you back, Sasuke said angrily. Naruto just smirked. Let's see you try, Naruto said. Instantly, Naruto pulled back his legs and kicked Sasuke, sending the Uchiha sailing through the air and falling all the way to the water below. Sasuke quickly righted himself and landed on the water surface while pushing chakra to the soles of his sandals to stand on the water. Kakashi, Sakura, do they mean anything to you anymore, Naruto? Sasuke asked. Naruto jumped off of Madara's statue and landed on the water surface across from Sasuke. They used to at one point. They were proof that someone actually cared, but now I have but one reason to live, Naruto said, earning a questioning look from Sasuke. What do you mean? Sasuke asked. Naruto chuckled. Hehehe, I mean that I need power so I can get the truth about the Ninetales attack from Itachi. I never would have gotten it if I stayed in the leaf, Naruto explained. If you go to Orochimaru then he'll just take over your body, Sasuke said. If it happens, it happens. So long as I get the truth then nothing else matters, Naruto said, causing Sasuke to go wide-eyed from shock. What had happened to the carefree, knucklehead ninja that he used to know? The one whose ninja way was to never break a promise. Sasuke gritted his teeth. I don't know why you're like this, Naruto, but I won't let you go. Sasuke yelled the last part before pulling out a kunai and tossing it at Naruto. The Uzumaki quickly pulled out his own kunai and tossed it at Sasuke. The two kunai met in the middle and hit each other before the two genin ran at each other and punched each other's fists. Hidden Leaf Village. Sakura was in her room looking at the picture of Team 7 that was taken after their first successful mission. Naruto and Sasuke were glaring at each other with Kakashi standing behind them with one of his signature eye smiles and his hands on their heads, and Sakura was standing between them smiling. Tears hit the glass cover on the picture as memories of Team 7 flooded Sakura's mind. The mission to the Land of Waves, the Chunin exams, the battle against Gaara, Itachi and Kisame's infiltration of the leaf, Naruto's departure. As the memories kept coming, Sakura held the picture close to her heart. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura whispered sadly. Final Valley. Storm clouds had gathered over the Final Valley as Sasuke and Naruto's battle raged on. The two were completely even. Neither of them could deal a blow to the other without receiving an injury themselves. Again and again their fists met either rock or each other. Naruto formed the index and middle fingers of both his hands into a cross. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto shouted as several shadow clones appeared all around Sasuke. The Uchiha activated his two Tomo Sharingan before the clones all rushed at him. Sasuke grabbed one clone's arm, kicked another one before hurling the first one into two others and tossed three kunai which impaled three more clones. Sasuke then jumped into the air and formed a few hand signs. Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Sasuke shouted as he blew several balls of fire at the shadow clones. Boom! Smoke covered the area as the clones were destroyed by the fire-style jutsu. Sasuke landed on the water as he waited for Naruto to make his next move. His eyes widened in shock, however, when the smoke cleared to reveal Naruto with a clone charging up a Rasengan. Sasuke gritted his teeth as he formed a couple hand signs before gripping his left wrist. Sasuke then pumped chakra into his left hand before changing it into an electrical current. Naruto, seeing Sasuke charging up a Chidori to counter his Rasengan, smirked. This is just like on the hospital roof, huh, Sasuke? Only this time there is no one around to stop us, said Naruto. Sasuke's eyes widened slightly as he remembered about that. Flashback. Naruto had returned to the hidden leaf with Tsunade to wake up Sasuke, who was in a Tsukuyami-induced coma. Tsunade, using her famous medical ninjutsu, had managed to wake Sasuke up. Sakura, who was relieved Sasuke was okay, immediately hugged him. Tsunade had left the room to give Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura some privacy. Thank goodness you're okay, Sasuke, said Sakura. Sasuke looked at Sakura with tired eyes. Sakura, you're hurting me, said Sasuke. Naruto, however, was gritting his teeth as he watched the whole thing. No thank you, Naruto. No hug. No nothing. It's always Sasuke this and Sasuke that. I'm tired of being in that bastard shadow no matter what I do. Well, that's it. No more, thought Naruto as the curse mark reacted to his anger. It overtook the left side of his face as the bangs of his hair concealed his eyes. He still hadn't put back on his headband. He then walked over to his teammates before gripping Sakura's shoulder and forcibly moved her out of the way. Sakura landed on her but before she looked up at Naruto with a glare. Hey Naruto, what was that for? Asked Sakura. Her eyes widened, however, when she saw Naruto's features. Naruto's nails resembled claws and his K9s resembled fangs. His whisker marks were darker and more pronounced, and his eyes were blood red with slits for pupils. The black flame-like tattoos of the curse mark covered the left half of his face. Naruto glared at Sakura. Stay out of this, said Naruto, Nine-Tails chakra/curse mark first state, before he turned to Sasuke and grabbed his shirt collar. What do you want, doe? Asked Sasuke as he glared at Naruto. You and me, the roof, now, said Naruto. Sasuke smirked as he activated his Sharingan. Fine, said Sasuke. Naruto let go of Sasuke's shirt collar before the latter got up. They left the room with Sakura following them. Roof. Naruto and Sasuke arrived on the roof of the hospital. The two then faced each other. Sakura, meanwhile, watched from the doorway with concern for her teammates. Sasuke then took out his leaf headband and tied it around his forehead. Aren't you gonna put your headband on, Dobe? Asked Sasuke. Naruto just smirked as his features returned to normal and the curse mark receded. I don't need it, said Naruto. Sasuke then gave Naruto a mild look of curiosity. Weren't you the one who claimed that when two people fought while wearing their village's headband showed that they recognized each other as equals? Asked Sasuke. Naruto just chuckled. Well, maybe I don't see you as my equal, said Naruto as he pointed his thumb at his forehead. Because I know you won't be able to scratch my forehead. Sasuke glared before dashing at Naruto. He threw a punch at the blonde Jinchuriki, but Naruto caught his fist with ease. Sasuke then jumped back before weaving through hand signs. He then inhaled deeply. Fire style, great fireball jutsu, shouted Sasuke before he blew a large fireball at Naruto. The blonde genin smirked as he put his fingers into that familiar cross. Shadow clone jutsu, shouted Naruto as several shadow clones appeared. The clones then rushed at the fireball and sacrificed themselves to stop it. Boom! Smoke surrounded the roof due to the explosion caused by the fireball hitting the clones. Sasuke looked where Naruto had been standing to try and find the Uzumaki. Suddenly, 3 shadow clones leaped out of the smoke. 2 of them grabbed Sasuke's arms, 1 per arm, and the third latched onto him from behind. What the dash? Said Sasuke. The smoke then cleared to reveal Naruto with his right hand in a single sign. Sasuke's eyes widened as his Sharingan allowed him to see what that hand sign was for. I win, said Naruto. Great clone explosion. The 3 clones then began to glow. Shit! Shouted Sasuke. Kaboom! The clones exploded, leaving behind thick, black smoke. Sakura, who had been watching the whole time, had been blown on her butt and began to panic as she didn't see Sasuke or Naruto get out of the blast radius. Thankfully, since it was only 3 clones, the explosion wasn't powerful enough to blow the roof apart. Naruto then appeared on the right water tower. He looked down and smirked. Even if Sasuke was healed enough to where he could leave the hospital, that explosion made sure he's gonna be here for a long time, thought Naruto. His smirk turned into a frown, however, when the smoke cleared to reveal that Sasuke was still up and moving and was now currently charging up a Chidori. Naruto growled as the curse mark overtook the left side of his face. I should have known he would use the substitution jutsu to get out of it, thought Naruto as he looked to where the blast went off to see one of his clones laying on the ground before it disappeared in a puff of smoke. His smirk returned, however, as he held out his right hand and a shadow clone appeared before forming a Rasengan in his right hand and disappearing. Naruto then jumped off the water tower and held out his Rasengan using right hand. Sasuke then held out his Chidori using left hand. Sakura, unable to take the fighting anymore, jumped up and ran toward her teammates. Stop it! Stop this senseless fighting! Please! Sakura begged. Naruto and Sasuke saw Sakura running toward them. Shit! I can't stop, thought Naruto. Damn it! Sakura will get caught in the blast, thought Sasuke. Suddenly, Kakashi appeared between Naruto and Sasuke, pushed Sakura back and caught the 2 Genin's jutsu using arms before flinging them into the twin water towers. Bam! The 2 members of Team 7 punctured the water towers with their jutsus. Sasuke ripped out his left arm, causing water to pour out of the water tower and onto the roof of the hospital. He then looked to his right as Naruto ripped his right arm out, only to go wide-eyed when he saw that Naruto's Rasengan had blown a huge hole in the back of the second water tower. What kind of jutsu was that? If that jutsu had hit my Chidori, then I would have thought Sasuke. Kakashi approached the two genin with a glare. What were you two thinking? Those jutsus were way too powerful to just be used for a spar. The power behind those jutsus was meant for the kill, Kakashi said as he berated the two for being so careless. And on top of that, if I hadn't got here in time, Sakura could have been killed. Naruto gritted his teeth as the curse mark receded. Naruto grunted before he back-flipped off the roof of the hospital and took off across the rooftops at high speed. Naruto! Sakura called after the blonde genin as she tried to go after him, only for Kakashi to stop her by placing his hand on her shoulder. I'll go after Naruto. If he sees you right now, it probably won't end well, said Kakashi before he disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Sasuke then walked up to Sakura. Sakura, don't ever get in the way again, said Sasuke before he went back inside, leaving behind an upset Sakura. Flashback end. Sasuke shook off the memory before he and Naruto dashed at each other with their jutsu using arms cocked back. As they reached each other, they thrusted their jutsus forward. Chidori! Rasengan! The two jutsus collided with each other, causing a torrent of air and lightning. Suddenly, however, boom! The two jutsus exploded, flinging the two former best friends back. Sasuke slammed into the feet of the first Hokage's statue, while Naruto slammed into the feet of Madara Uchiha's statue. Sasuke then pulled himself out of the hole his body made. I have to bring this fight to an end soon. I could try another Chidori again, but I've already used it once, which means I can only use it one more time. Not to mention I have no clue how many more times Naruto can use that Rasengan. I'll have to wait for an opening. That's when I'll be able to strike, thought Sasuke. He then looked toward Madara's statue to see Naruto standing. However, his nails and K9s resemble claws and fangs respectively, and his whisker marks more darker and more pronounced. His hair was wilder, and his eyes were red with slits for pupils. Naruto chuckled darkly as he walked forward. Why are you trying so hard to bring me back, Sasuke? Why do you care? You never cared before, shouted Naruto, Ninetales chakra. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Because you became my best friend, shouted Sasuke, causing Naruto to go wide-eyed. Your best friend? Asked Naruto. Sasuke nodded his head. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but it's true. Back when Team 7 was formed, I couldn't care less about you, Sakura, or Kakashi. All I wanted was revenge against Itachi for destroying the Uchiha clan, but over time I found myself getting used to being around you and the others, said Sasuke. And as time went by, I even found myself wondering why I wanted revenge when it wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't bring back my parents, or the rest of the clan. So I decided to just enjoy my life as a shinobi with my friends. Naruto looked at Sasuke in shock. He couldn't believe the supposed Avenger was choosing his team over vengeance. However, Naruto growled. You say that revenge won't bring your parents back? At least you had parents at the start. I never had any parents to begin with. I've been alone right from the beginning. What would you know about it, huh? Naruto exclaimed. Naruto, you don't have to be alone anymore. Just come back to the village with me and you'll never be alone again. Sakura, myself, and the rest of the Rookie 9 will be there for you. We all have a bond with each other, said Sasuke as he held out his right hand. Naruto stared at Sasuke with wide eyes. He then reached into his shuriken pouch and pulled out his hidden leaf headband before looking at it. He then closed his eyes and pictured all his friends looking at him and smiling. However, his mind then pictured Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hashigaki. If you want to learn the truth, then you need to sever yourself from your past. Sever yourself from everything and everyone that will make you weak. Only then will you be able to gain true strength. Itachi words to Naruto rang loud and clear to him. Naruto tied his headband around his forehead before his eyes snapped open. A bond? We have a bond, you say? In that case, said Naruto as purple chakra started swirling around him. The curse mark overtook Naruto's body, wrapping around him. Sasuke's eyes widened at what he saw. Naruto had completely transformed. Naruto's hair had grown to the point that it reached his waist and was a sickly pale orange. His skin was gray and his whisker marks, if possible, were even darker, and he had a black X on the bridge of his nose. Naruto then opened his eyes to reveal that the whites of his eyes were black, but his iris were still red and his pupils were still slits. Two webbed hand-like wings tore out of the back of his orange jumpsuit jacket. I'll just have to sever that bond. Naruto, curse mark second state, yelled. Naruto, said Sasuke, who was stunned at Naruto's new form. Come on, Sasuke. It's time we finish this as equals, said Naruto. Sasuke couldn't believe what he saw. Was this still the same Naruto he remembered? Or was the Naruto he knew gone forever? Sasuke shook those thoughts from his head. He closed his eyes and tightened his headband. All right, Naruto. I'll face you as an equal. Did you know that when two shinobi of equal strength face each other, they can read each other's thoughts through a simple exchange of fists? Said Sasuke. He then opened his eyes to reveal that a third tomo had formed. Naruto smirked. If that's the case, then can you read my thoughts? Can you tell what's on my mind? Asked Naruto. Let's go, Naruto. Sasuke shouted the last part. Naruto just continued smirking before the two former best friends dashed at each other. Meanwhile, Kakashi and his ninja hound Pakin were headed toward the final valley as fast as they could. Kakashi, Naruto, and Sasuke's scents are growing stronger, but Naruto's scent has turned darker, said Pakin. Kakashi nodded his head in understanding. Naruto, I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you when you needed someone. I'm sorry that I made you feel alone, but I won't let that happen anymore. Naruto, Sasuke, hang on, Kakashi thought as he pumped as much chakra as he could into his legs and sped toward the final valley. In the leaf. Thunder rumbled as Tsunade looked out the window at the storm clouds. I'll become Hokage no matter what. Just you wait. I'll master the Rasengan in a week and then you'll have to give me that necklace. I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way. A tear rolled down Tsunade's cheek as she remembered what Naruto had told her before and after he had brought her back to the village. Naruto, said Tsunade. With Jiraiya. Jiraiya, or as he's better known as the Great Toad Sage, was sitting on the fourth Hokage's head atop the Hokage monument. Naruto, I'm sorry I couldn't stop Orochimaru from corrupting your pure heart. No, I'm sorry I couldn't be there to ease your loneliness. Forgive me, Naruto, thought Jiraiya as he looked up at the storm clouds. Final Valley. Thunder roared and lightning crackled as the two former best friends clashed. Though Sasuke's 3-tomo Sharingan allowed him to keep up with Naruto's curse mark enhanced speed, it couldn't help him with the enhanced strength. Every time he would block a punch or kick, Naruto would just deal a more severe blow. If he couldn't get control of this fight. What's the matter, Sasuke? Are you getting tired? Asked Naruto. Sasuke looked toward Naruto and saw he was in just as bad a shape as himself. They were both battered, beaten, bruised, and had several cuts. Damn it! There's still no opening. I guess I'll have to make one, thought Sasuke as he made a couple of hand signs before gripping his wrist. As he began charging up a Chidori, Naruto smirked. The Chidori again? Fine, but it won't work, said Naruto. Suddenly, a sharp pain coursed through Naruto's body, causing him to drop to one knee as he gripped his left shoulder. The curse mark then receded, causing Naruto's features and hair to return to normal. Damn it! Not now, thought Naruto. Normal. Sasuke's eyes widened in surprise before they changed to determination. There's an opening, thought Sasuke. He then dashed at Naruto with full speed. Once he reached Naruto, Sasuke thrusted the Chidori through Naruto's left shoulder. The Uzumaki looked at his pierced left shoulder with Sasuke's left arm through it before looking back at the Uchiha with wide eyes. Sasuke removed his arm from Naruto's shoulder, allowing blood to flow out of the wound to mix with the water. Naruto coughed up blood before he finally collapsed. Sasuke gasped for air, trying to catch his breath, for he had exhausted almost all of his chakra to bring Naruto down. I didn't hit a vital spot, so Naruto should survive. Now to just get this moron back to the leaf, thought Sasuke. His eyes widened, however, when he saw red chakra begin bubbling out of Naruto's body. Jumping back, Sasuke watched as Naruto stood up and the red chakra formed around him like some kind of shell. The chakra shell then took the shape of a fox with a single tail. The wound Sasuke managed to inflict had even healed completely, leaving no trace that it had been there in the first place. Sasuke, you aren't the only one who's special, said Naruto, 9 tails, 1 tail mode. However, the curse mark overtook the left side of Naruto's face and body and even turned the chakra shell purple. Chakra versions of Naruto's curse mark second state webbed hand-like wings sprouted out of the back of the chakra shell. Naruto, said Sasuke. Naruto, 9 tails, 1 tail mode / curse mark first state, then disappeared before reappearing on the feet of Madara Uchiha's statue, with Sasuke jumping onto the feet of the first Hokage's statue. Naruto then held out his right hand as he formed a Rasengan without the need of a shadow clone. If I use the Chidori again, I'll be all out of chakra, but I don't have a choice, thought Sasuke as he formed two hand signs before gripping his left wrist and charged up a Chidori. The red and purple chakra swirling around Naruto then caused Naruto's Rasengan to turn black. However, at the same time, some of the red chakra drifted towards Sasuke and turned his Chidori red. It's time we ended this battle, said Naruto as memories of all the battles he and Team 7 had been in flooded his mind. And all the battles we've had up till now. Ruby Sharingan met blood-red eyes. The minute the thunder boomed and lightning crackled, the two former best friends launched themselves at each other. Sasuke! Naruto! As the two reached each other, they slammed their respective jutsus together. Rasengan! Chidori! A giant black sphere formed around the two and grew to the size of the final valley itself. Inside the sphere, Naruto and Sasuke were trying to push each other back as hard as they could. However, Naruto caught an opening and plunged his black Rasengan into Sasuke's chest, but it didn't have enough power to finish the job. At the same time, Sasuke thrusted his red Chidori at Naruto, but only scratched the forehead protector on his headband. Naruto changed back to normal, while Sasuke's Sharingan deactivated as the two began to drift away from each other. However, at the last second they finally managed to make the comrades sign, which they were never able to bring themselves to do back in the Ninja Academy. Outside the sphere. The sphere continued to float there before white cracks began to form all over it. The cracks continued to spread all over the sphere until finally. Boom! The sphere exploded, causing a large earthquake to occur. Once the earthquake ended, Sasuke washed up on the shore of the valley unconscious. Naruto, however, managed to limp his way over to Sasuke while holding his right arm. His clothes were shredded, as was his headband. Naruto looked down at the unconscious Uchiha to see that he didn't look much better either. Why? Why would you go so far from me, Sasuke? Asked Naruto. Suddenly, pain shot through Naruto's right arm, causing the Uzumaki to grip his arm tightly while gritting his teeth as he dropped to his knees and leaned over Sasuke. Naruto's headband came undone and landed on Sasuke's headband-covered forehead before sliding and landing on the ground. Naruto looked at Sasuke for a few minutes before standing up and limping toward the forest. He then looked back at Sasuke's unconscious form. It then began to rain. Naruto looked up at the pouring sky. Even the heavens are crying, thought Naruto. He then looked back at Sasuke. I'm sorry, said Naruto before he turned and walked into the forest, disappearing from sight. Laying on the ground next to Sasuke was Naruto's hidden leaf headband, which he had received from Iruka with a scratch across the hidden leaf symbol. At that moment, Naruto's picture of Team 7 and Tsunade's necklace washed up next to his headband. The picture of Team 7 was still in one piece, but the glass was cracked over Naruto's image. Meanwhile, a strange plant-like man wearing a black coat with red clouds and a Venus flytrap-like thing on his head had been watching the whole fight. We'd better report this to the leader, said the man before he sunk into the ground. Final Valley. Kakashi and Pakken arrived to find an unconscious Sasuke laying on the shore. Kakashi rushed over to him and immediately noticed the scratched headband, the necklace, and the broken photo. Pakken sniffed the items. They're Naruto's, said Pakken. Kakashi looked at Sasuke with sadness more than evident in his lone visible eye. Can we track him? Asked Kakashi. Pakken shook his head sadly. I'm sorry, Kakashi, but that's gonna be impossible with how hard it's raining. Naruto's scent is already weaker than it was before, said Pakken. Kakashi sighed as he carefully lifted Sasuke into his arms. That's alright, Pakken. Could you get Naruto's headband, picture, and necklace? Said Kakashi. Pakken nodded his head. Yeah, said Pakken. Kakashi then looked at the unconscious Uchiha in his arms. I'm sorry I'm late, Sasuke. I know you must have fought your hardest, thought Kakashi. Once Pakken collected Naruto's items, he and Kakashi made their way back to the leaf. Meanwhile, Orochimaru and Kabuto were leading Naruto through the secret hideout. Orochimaru was covered in bandages from head to toe, and Naruto now wore a boy's kimono with bandages around his torso, arms, and forehead. I'm glad you were able to make it, Naruto. Facing an Uchiha with the Sharingan must have been no easy feat, said Orochimaru. Naruto looked at Orochimaru with a monotone expression. Enough chit-chat. I want to start training as soon as possible, Naruto said in an emotionless tone of voice. Kabuto glared at Naruto. You will learn to show Lord Orochimaru respect, Naruto, said Kabuto. Naruto glared back at Kabuto. And who is gonna make me? You? Asked Naruto. Orochimaru chuckled darkly. He already wants to start training without any regard for his own health. Hehehehe. He will make a fine vessel once he is trained properly, thought Orochimaru. Elsewhere, a group of people, all wearing the same black coat with red clouds, were gathered together. Naruto Uzumaki has left the Hidden Leaf Village and joined Orochimaru. He even managed to beat your little brother, Itachi, said the plant-like man. Itachi looked on without a word, or hint of emotion. Kisame chuckled. Well, who would have thought that the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki would manage to beat Itachi's little brother? I guess you managed to get under both their skins, Itachi, said Kisame. The Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is still no match for my art, said another man. No matter. Within 3 years the hunt for the tailed beasts will begin. We will simply save the Nine-Tails for last. Until then, we will begin amassing funds for the Akatsuki. You're all dismissed, said a man with purple eyes that had several rings around the pupils. 2.5 years have passed since that fateful day. Many things have changed. Orochimaru's hideout. Naruto Uzumaki was in the training room practicing with his new jutsus. The past 2.5 years he had spent under Orochimaru's training had allowed the Jinchuriki to become far stronger than he would have ever gotten if he had stayed in the Hidden Leaf. Naruto's hair was longer, but not by much, and his skin was lightly tan. He now wore a long-sleeved orange shirt that was open in the front, showing off his hard pecs and flat stomach, and had the Uzumaki swirl on the back. If you looked closely you could see the seal on his stomach which kept the nine-tailed fox contained, and if you looked on the left side of his neck you would see the curse mark with the suppression seal around it. He also wore black umbu pants which ended in black ninja sandals and a purple cloth that went around his waist, but was open in the front and went down to below his knees and was kept in place by a purple rope belt. He also had a katana with a purple handle, silver blade and a purple sheath which was on the back of his waist and kept in place by the rope belt. He also wore black forearm guards on his arms. Basically, it's Sasuke's Hibi outfit from Season 2 of Naruto Shippuden, but with a few differences. During his training he had discovered he had 3 chakra affinities: wind, water, and lightning. With these he had managed to learn a few jutsus that fell under these affinities. However, he wasn't particularly able to learn many water jutsus thanks to a certain resident in his body, but he did manage to learn some. However, to make sure he would get stronger, Naruto willingly subjected himself to medical ninjutsu and forbidden jutsu enhancements. Fortunately, being the Jinchuriki to the most powerful tailed beast out of them all did have its perks. With an increased healing factor going for him, Naruto was able to survive the more gruesome enhancements and come out of it without a scratch. Currently, he was practicing with his lightning-style jutsus, and his target was his shadow clones. During his training, Naruto discovered why the shadow clone jutsu was labeled as a forbidden jutsu. Turns out that when a shadow clone dispels, its memories return to the original. That meant that the jutsu was perfect for infiltration, espionage, and training. Things that would take weeks of training to learn only took days with the shadow clones. Lightning style, lightning current, shouted Naruto as his right hand became encased in lightning before he slammed it into the ground. An electrical current shot through the floor and electrocuted several shadow clones. A few clones appeared behind Naruto with katana in hand and swung at him. However, Naruto disappeared before reappearing behind the clones that tried attacking him while sheathing his katana. Once the katana clicked into place, the clones split in half before disappearing in a puff of smoke. Naruto looked ahead to see a clone standing there smirking. The clone then held out his right hand before it became encased in lightning, which began to make that all too familiar chirping sound. Yes, see, after Naruto discovered he had 2 chakra natures, wind and lightning, the first lightning jutsu he wanted to learn was either the Chidori or the lightning blade. So he had 2 clones work on the jutsus. Whichever one mastered their jutsu first would be the jutsu Naruto would keep. So after a couple months, the clone that dispelled first was the one working on the Chidori. Naruto found it kinda ironic that he would end up learning the very jutsu he had wanted to learn when he was younger, but his former sensei refused to teach him how, claiming that he didn't have the right chakra for it. He found it even more ironic that he learned the very jutsu his former best friend and teammate had been taught. After learning the Chidori, Naruto came up with a few jutsus that were based off the Chidori. He also made a few combination jutsus with his Rasengan by infusing one of his 3 chakra natures into the jutsu. Naruto smirked as he held out his right hand and formed a Rasengan. After he began his training under Orochimaru, Naruto decided he needed to learn how to form the Rasengan without the need of a shadow clone, because he knew that if an enemy were to destroy the clone before it could finish forming the Rasengan, then Naruto wouldn't stand a chance. So he began the Rasengan training all over again, but this time he wanted to be able to form it one-handed like he could in his 9 tails, one-tail mode. So after months of failures and cursing he finally managed to pull it off, However, he had a long ways to go before he could master it. Now he had not only mastered the Rasengan, but also mastered the new way to form it without the need of a shadow clone. The clone with the Chidori rushed at Naruto with the intent of impaling its original. However, Naruto ducked under the jutsu and brought up the Rasengan right into the clone's stomach, sending the clone rocketing into the roof. Bam! The clone hit the ceiling, causing a crater to form where he had hit before dispelling. Naruto looked at his handiwork and saw that the training room was completely destroyed. Judging by how the room is, I'd have to say my power is at least high Anbu level, maybe mid-Kage. However, it isn't good enough. Itachi's power is beyond Kage level. Orochimaru can't even take on Itachi and hope to win, and he's as strong as Pervy's Sage and Granny. Guess that's why he's a Sannin, thought Naruto. At that moment, a sound ninja appeared. Naruto Uzumaki, Lord Orochimaru requests your presence, said the sound ninja. Naruto looked at the sound ninja with an emotionless look before nodding. Get this place fixed up before I return, or else, said Naruto with an equally emotionless voice as he walked past the sound ninja and toward the door. The sound ninja looked at the destroyed training room before looking back at Naruto. He's far stronger than Lord Kabuto, and almost as strong as Lord Orochimaru. I'm just glad he's on our side, thought the sound ninja. With Naruto. Naruto was walking through the halls of the hideout while making his way to Orochimaru's sleeping quarters. I wonder what Orochimaru wants. It better be important because it's cutting into my training, thought Naruto. Soon he arrived at a large door and pushed it open to find the snake Sannin sitting up in his bed. Ah, Naruto, I'm glad you made it, said Orochimaru before having a coughing fit. Naruto looked on with that same expressionless look. What is it that's so important that it required you to interrupt my training, Orochimaru? Asked Naruto. Orochimaru chuckled. Hehehehe, I know how important your training is, Naruto, but I have a mission for you, said Orochimaru. Naruto looked at Orochimaru with a faint hint of curiosity. What mission? Asked Naruto. Orochimaru chuckled. Not too far from here there is a village named Tree Felling Village. This village, a long time ago, had a tree called the Tree of Life. However, the ancestors of the villagers made the foolish mistake of cutting down that tree, said Orochimaru. How was it a mistake? Asked Naruto. The flowers that grew around the tree kept a demon named Black Shadow away from the village. Once they cut it down and the flowers stopped growing, Black Shadow came and ate the tree to ensure it never grew back. I want you to go there and defeat this Black Shadow and collect a sample of the tree. Bring it back here and Kabuto should be able to make a medicine that will ease the pain I'm going through. Cough cough, said Orochimaru. Naruto just looked at Orochimaru. Why do you care about some demon terrorizing a village? It can't just be about the sample, said Naruto. Orochimaru flashed a crooked grin. The villagers there could also make excellent test subjects, said Orochimaru. Naruto just closed his eyes as he turned toward the door. I'll go, but said Naruto before looking over his shoulder at Orochimaru with a glare. I'm not going because of the sample, or the villagers. I'm going because this demon could provide a decent test for my power. Also, don't even think of laying a hand on the villagers. I may have come to you for power, but the way you can just toy with people's lives and subject them to your horrific experiments is just sick. With that said, Naruto walked out of the room, leaving behind a chuckling Orochimaru. That is why you are still not strong enough to defeat Itachi, Naruto. Because deep down inside you still retain some of your old self, thought Orochimaru. Later. Naruto was walking through the forest on his way to Tree Felling Village. As he was walking, he noticed a large tree. I guess a quick target practice wouldn't hurt, thought Naruto as he pulled out a few shuriken. He then closed his eyes and turned away from the tree before tossing the shuriken. Thunk! Naruto opened his eyes and looked at the tree to see that all the shuriken had hit their mark. Naruto lightly smirked before walking over to the tree and pulling out the shuriken. Returning the shuriken to his shuriken pouch, Naruto continued on his way to Tree Felling Village. Soon he arrived at a gate and pushed it open to find he was in Tree Felling Village. Good, I made it. Now to find out where this Black Shadow dwells, thought Naruto as he walked through the village. He soon came upon a cave which was surrounded by people. I wonder what's going on here, thought Naruto. An elderly man, who Naruto guessed was the village chief, walked up to a little girl holding a lantern. Aoi, you do know what you must do, correct? Asked the village chief. Aoi nodded her head. Good, then we wish you luck, said the village chief. Aoi nodded her head again before turning and walking into the cave. As the villagers dispersed, Naruto stared at the cave opening. Excuse me, I haven't seen you around the village before. Are you new here? Asked a voice. Naruto turned around to see a young woman. Yes, actually. I was wondering what was happening here, said Naruto. The young woman sighed. You've just witnessed the human sacrifice ritual. Cough cough, said the young woman. Naruto raised a blonde eyebrow. Human sacrifice ritual? Asked Naruto. The young woman nodded her head. Yes. Cough cough, it's a ritual which requires the villagers to offer up one of their own to Black Shadow, said the young woman. Naruto's eyes widened slightly before he walked closer to the woman. Did you say Black Shadow? Asked Naruto. The young woman nodded her head. Yes, and sadly my little girl has been chosen as the sacrifice this time. Cough cough asterisk, said the woman before she fell to her knees in a violent coughing fit. Naruto knelt down beside her. Are you all right? Naruto asked in his emotionless voice. The young woman nodded her head. Yes, I'm all right. Cough, said the young woman. Naruto then placed his left hand on the young woman's stomach as his hand began to glow with green chakra. About a year into his training, Naruto decided to learn some medical ninjutsu for in case something were to happen. So Kabuto had taught him several medical jutsus and Naruto discovered he was quite good at it, but knew he couldn't compare his medical ninjutsu to Tsunade's. After all, she was famous as the most powerful medical ninja in the world. This woman is lucky to even be able to move, but she doesn't have much longer left, thought Naruto. He then poured more chakra into his hand. The young woman sighed as she felt the relieving effects of the medical ninjutsu. Naruto then removed his hand. There, you should be okay now, said Naruto. The young woman looked at Naruto before he stood up and helped her up. How did you do that? The illness I had was supposed to be incurable, said the young woman. Naruto rested his right arm on the hilt of his katana as he closed his eyes. Let's just say I'm quite skilled in medical ninjutsu, said Naruto. The young woman nodded her head. Thank you. My name is Tsubaki. What's yours? Asked the young woman. Naruto opened his eyes. Naruto Uzumaki, said Naruto. Tsubaki nodded her head. Well, thank you, Naruto. But I have a request, said Tsubaki. Naruto raised a blonde eyebrow in question. And what would that be? Asked Naruto. Please, rescue my daughter Aoi. Please, begged Tsubaki. Naruto closed his eyes as he turned away from Tsubaki. I guess I will. I came here to deal with Black Shadow anyway, said Naruto as he began walking toward the cave entrance. Tsubaki watched Naruto as he walked into the cave and disappeared from sight. I wish you good luck, Naruto Uzumaki. Please bring Aoi back to me safely, thought Tsubaki. Inside the cave, Naruto walked into the cave and saw all the crystals that were in the walls and the ground. They were all different colors. As he looked around, he noticed a pink crystal sticking out of the cave wall which reminded him of a certain former pink-haired teammate. He then removed it from the wall before looking it over. I wonder how she's been these past 2.5 years, thought Naruto. Where are you going? Take me with you. If you leave, I'll scream. Naruto shook his head to rid himself of those useless memories as he put the crystal in his shuriken pouch. Besides, no sense in worrying about a girl who would choose her crush over a teammate in a life-and-death situation. Naruto then produced 5 shadow clones. 3 of you head back to the village to gather more intel on Black Shadow. The other 2 search the cave for Aoi. I'll deal with Black Shadow, said Naruto. His clones gave a salute before they spilt up to do their jobs. Naruto then proceeded deeper into the cave. As he was walking, he could sense a presence coming from all around. Come on out. I know you're there, said Naruto as he rested his right hand on the hilt of his katana. Suddenly, a figure wearing a coat with tree branches sticking out of the back appeared. Leave, said the figure. Are you Black Shadow? Asked Naruto. You must not interfere with the ritual, said the figure. Naruto then unsheathed his katana. I'll take that as a yes, said Naruto before he disappeared. He then reappeared behind Black Shadow before swinging his katana straight down, but Black Shadow sunk into the ground, causing the blade to slice nothing but air. Naruto looked around for the demon, but couldn't find any sign of it as he sheathed his katana. Suddenly, one of his clones popped as its memories returned to the jutsu caster. Good, he found Aoi and got her out. Now I can fight Black Shadow without worry, said Naruto. Suddenly, one of his shadow clones appeared. What is it? Asked Naruto. The clone then handed Naruto a necklace with a vial that had flower petal designs on it. "I said to give you this, boss," said the clone before it dispelled. Naruto looked at the necklace before pocketing it in his shuriken pouch and continuing on. Later, Naruto arrived at the heart of the cave. "Looks like I've reached the end of the cave," thought Naruto. He then looked around the area. "Come on out, Black Shadow. There isn't anywhere left to run," said Naruto. Suddenly, the cloaked figure known as Black Shadow appeared along with two identical copies. "How dare you interfere?" said Black Shadow. "You and the village shall suffer." Suddenly, the three black shadows fused together to form a large wolf with 3 eyes, 2 faces, 6 paws, and a pair of wings. Naruto smirked as he unsheathed his katana. "Let's see what you got," said Naruto as he dashed at Black Shadow. The demon raised a paw and brought it straight down on Naruto, but the Jinchuriki dodged to the right before swinging his katana and slicing the paw clean off. Black Shadow howled in pain before firing tendrils at Naruto. The Jinchuriki ducked, dodged, and weaved through the tendrils before coming up to its top face and stabbing his katana into its left eye. Black Shadow howled in pain before throwing Naruto off. However, Naruto flipped in midair and landed on his feet. He then noticed the necklace laying on the ground with the vial broken to reveal flower petals. A breeze blew in through the opening in the roof, causing the petals to go flying around in the air. "Arga! Those can't be those cursed flowers!" screamed Black Shadow. Naruto smirked as he removed his shirt and allowed it to hang from his waist. "You're finished, Black Shadow," said Naruto as he closed his eyes and the curse mark overtook his body. His skin turned gray, his whisker marks became darker and more pronounced, and his hair grew down to his waist while becoming a sickly orange. A black X formed on the bridge of his nose. Naruto then opened his eyes to reveal that the whites of his eyes turned black while his iris became red with the pupils changing to slits. He then sheathed his katana before holding out his right hand and began charging a Rasengan. You will die here, you fucking human!" screamed Black Shadow. Naruto, curse mark second state, smirked. "You will be the only one to die here, Black Shadow," said Naruto as 4 blades of wind nature chakra came out of the Rasengan. They then began rotating around the Rasengan. Naruto then dashed at Black Shadow before jumping start at his face. "Wind style, Rasen Shuriken!" shouted Naruto as he slammed the Rasen Shuriken into Black Shadow's face. The jutsu tore into Black Shadow before sending him flying back and colliding with the cave wall. Naruto landed on the ground before the curse mark receded back to its original spot on the left side of his neck. "My body is fading, my body," said Black Shadow before he burst into thousands of wilted leaves and leaving behind a tree branch. Naruto walked over to the tree branch. So what Orochimaru said was true. Black Shadow devoured the tree of life to ensure the flowers that grew around it never grew back, thought Naruto, normal, as he put his shirt back on. He then looked up and noticed a single green leaf floating down toward him. He held up his left hand and caught the leaf before looking it over. So this is all that's left of the tree of life, thought Naruto before making his way out of the cave. Tree felling village. Naruto exited the cave to find Tsubaki and Aoi waiting for him. "Did you do it, Naruto?" asked Aoi. Naruto looked down at Aoi before nodding his head once. "You won't ever have to worry about Black Shadow again," said Naruto. He then looked at the leaf again before handing it to Aoi. "Here. To make up for my losing your necklace," said Naruto. "Thank you, Naruto. Everyone in the village owes you their lives," said Tsubaki. Naruto then walked past the two. "You're leaving?" asked Tsubaki, causing Naruto to stop. "But it's almost dark." Naruto just rested his right hand on the hilt of his katana. "I've got stuff to do that can't wait," said Naruto. "You'll come back to visit, right?" asked Aoi. Naruto looked back at the mother and daughter before nodding his head. "Sure," said Naruto. Aoi and Tsubaki waved to Naruto as the young Jinchuriki headed out, and beneath the setting sun he smiled his first real smile in over 2.5 years. Orochimaru's hideout, a few weeks later. Naruto was sitting in the altar of Orochi waiting for the snake Sannin and his spy. As he looked around the room, he began to let his mind wander. "I wonder what really would have happened if I stayed in the hidden leaf. What would have been different?" thought Naruto. He then pictured all of his former friends laughing and smiling. His former teammates and former sensei going to Ichiraku's ramen stand after team training. Himself, Sasuke, and Sakura being promoted to Jonin. Sakura and him finally going on a real date. Naruto shook his head as he tried to rid himself of those useless thoughts. There was no way he was gonna beat Itachi if he kept letting all these what-ifs and memories keep getting to him. He then closed his eyes as he tried meditating to calm himself. However, his whisker marks became dark and more pronounced as he continued. He was interrupted, however, when Orochimaru and Kabuto returned with a ninja from the hidden leaf. This ninja had short black hair and black eyes. His skin was pale and he wore a black and gray long-sleeved shirt that showed off his stomach, black umbu pants and ninja sandals, black gloves and an umbu sword on his back. "You're late," said Naruto with an emotionless voice and his eyes still closed. Orochimaru chuckled. "Well, we ran into your old team at Tenchi Bridge," said Orochimaru. Naruto opened his eyes to reveal they were red with slits for pupils. "Am I supposed to care?" asked Naruto. The hidden leaf ninja then spoke up. "You must be Naruto Uzumaki. Sasuke and Sakura have told me a lot about you." "My name is Sai," said the hidden leaf ninja as he smiled at Naruto, but the young Jinchuriki immediately realized the smile was fake. Naruto's chakra flared before he and Sai appeared in a place that resembled a sewer. The floor was covered in ankle-high water, and Sai noticed a large cell door behind Naruto. Suddenly, a large red eye with a slit for a pupil opened behind the cell door, causing Sai to fall to his ass in shock and fear. Reality. Sai fell on his ass, causing Kabuto to look toward Naruto with a glare. "Naruto, enough!" shouted Kabuto. "Humph," Naruto grunted as his whisker marks and eyes returned to normal. Sai wiped the side of his face as he attempted to stand up. "I thought I couldn't feel fear, but that's exactly what I just felt," thought Sai. Orochimaru chuckled. "Hehehehehe. He's shaping up to be a fine vessel indeed. Just a little longer and I'll be able to make that body my own," thought Orochimaru. Naruto then stood up. "Let's go, Orochimaru. You were supposed to have started my training this morning," said Naruto before he disappeared. "You'll have to forgive him. He can be a bit touchy when someone mentions his former comrades by name," said Orochimaru before he handed Kabuto a bingo book. "Take care of that." With that, he disappeared. Later. After his training with Orochimaru, Naruto retired to his room. However, he noticed two very familiar chakra signatures in the hideout. "They're both here? Probably for me. If it's one thing we all had in common, it's that we never gave up," thought Naruto. He then decided to wait for them to come to him before disappearing. Altar of Orochi. Naruto appeared in front of the giant snake statue and sat down as he awaited the arrival of his former teammates. However, he noticed a strange little black and white mouse coming toward him. Once the mouse reached him, Naruto's eyes widened as he realized what this mouse was. Suddenly, the mouse exploded. Sai then appeared and looked toward the cloud of smoke. "Did it work?" thought Sai. Suddenly, a certain pink-haired kunoichi ran into the room. Sakura, now a chunin, wore a red zip-up sleeveless vest with black shorts and a pink skirt, high-heeled ninja boots, elbow warmers, and, I don't know what they're called, and gloves. Her headband now had a red cloth instead of blue with the forehead protector that had the Hidden Leaf Village symbol on it. Seeing Sai, Sakura rushed over to him and grabbed him by the front of his shirt. "Sai, you bastard! You were planning to assassinate him this whole dash," said Sakura before she was interrupted by an all-too-familiar voice. "Sakura. It's been a while," said a voice, causing Sakura to go wide-eyed as she turned toward the giant snake statue to see Naruto sitting atop the head of the statue. "Naruto," said Sakura as she released her grip on Sai's shirt. Sakura couldn't believe her eyes. It really was him. It really was that idiotic, knucklehead ninja she fell in love with. "What's the matter, Sakura? You look like you've seen a ghost," said Naruto. Suddenly, a certain Uchiha ran into the room. Sasuke, now a Jonin, wore a black short-sleeved ninja shirt with a purple short-sleeved vest with the Uchiha clan crest on the back, black AMBU pants and black ninja sandals, and his RTN outfit. His headband now had a black cloth instead of blue with the forehead protector that had the symbol of the Hidden Leaf Village on it. "Sakura, what happened?" asked Sasuke. "And Sasuke too," said Naruto, causing Sasuke to go wide-eyed as he turned and looked up at the snake statue to see his former best friend. "Naruto?" asked Sasuke. Naruto looked around the room. "Where is Kakashi?" asked Naruto. "All we need is him now to complete this little Team 7 reunion." Suddenly, another Jonin appeared. This Jonin wore the same outfit as Sasuke, but the Jonin vest had the Uzumaki swirl instead of the Uchiha crest. "I'm afraid Kakashi couldn't make it, so I'm here in his place." "Call me Yamato," said the Jonin. Naruto then looked toward Sai. Then is he my replacement? Asked Naruto. Sai chose this exact moment to speak up. I want to see the bond between you and Sasuke, said Sai. Naruto looked towards Sasuke before looking back at Sai. The bond between me and Sasuke? That bond was severed 2.5 years ago. I saw to that personally, said Naruto. Though there wasn't much of a bond to sever back then. Sasuke stepped forward. That's a lie and you know it, Naruto, said Sasuke. If our bond was severed back then I would be dead. Humph, you're alive today because I let you live, said Naruto. Suddenly, he disappeared before reappearing in front of Sasuke with his left hand on Sasuke's right shoulder. Sakura looked toward the two in shock and amazement. So fast. I didn't even see him move, thought Sakura. Last I remember, you wanted revenge on Itachi for destroying the Uchiha clan, said Naruto as he gripped the handle of his katana. What happened to that? While looking straight ahead with determined look, Sasuke answered. I let it go when I saw what it was doing to my best friend, said Sasuke. Humph, Naruto grunted as he unsheathed his katana and made to stab Sasuke in the back. Naruto! Sakura shouted in an attempt to stop him. However, Naruto's blade only met the blade of Sai's katana, for the hidden leaf ninja had moved behind Sasuke to block the attack. The block you chose was the correct one, said Naruto as Sasuke and Sai leaped away from him. Sasuke pulled out several kunai and activated his 3-toed Sharingan, while Sai pulled out several shuriken before both ninja tossed the kunai and shuriken at Naruto. The young Jinchuriki, however, merely swung his katana at a speed so fast that Sasuke's Sharingan couldn't keep up and deflected the kunai and shuriken before sheathing his katana. Is that it? Asked Naruto. Sasuke gritted his teeth as he performed a couple hand signs before gripping his left wrist. His left hand became encased in lightning chakra as he charged up a Chidori. Chidori, huh? Alright, I guess it gives me a chance to test it out, said Naruto as he gripped his right wrist. Suddenly, his right hand became encased in lightning, causing Sasuke and Sakura's eyes widen in shock. He can use Chidori, they both thought. Naruto and Sasuke rushed at each other before colliding their Chidoras together. Lightning crackled around the two former friends as their Chidoras clashed. Sasuke glared at Naruto, while the Jinchuriki simply stared at him with that emotionless stare. Having had enough, the two jumped away from each other. How can you use Chidori? Asked Sasuke. Naruto simply stared for a moment before deciding to answer. I have 2 chakra natures, said Naruto. Your chakra natures are fire and lightning. Mine are wind and lightning. Naruto then unsheathed his katana before the blade became cloaked in lightning. Super Beast Scroll Dog! Shouted Sai as he unraveled the scroll, and out came several painted dogs that rushed at Naruto. The rogue ninja, however, turned quickly and impaled one of the dogs with his lightning chakra-enhanced katana. Lightning style, lightning current, said Naruto before an electrical current shot out of the first dog and engulfed the others, causing them to explode and cover the area in smoke. Naruto then appeared in front of Sai once the smoke cleared and kicked him in the gut, sending him flying into the wall. Sasuke then rushed at Naruto and threw a punch at him, but the rogue ninja simply caught the punch before elbowing Sasuke in the gut and threw him into the other wall. After recovering, Sai and Sasuke ran at Naruto. The rogue ninja, however, sheathed his katana before both his hands became encased in lightning. Seeing the danger immediately, Yamato performed a couple of hand signs. Wood style, wood hand jutsu! Shouted Yamato as his right hand became wood and stretched towards Sasuke and Sai. Chidori stream! Said Naruto as he released Chidori from his entire body just as Yamato grabbed Sasuke and Sai, shocking not just them, but him, too. Sakura was too shocked to move. Naruto can use Chidori and emit it from his entire body. Just how powerful has he become, thought Sakura. She then got a look of determination as she dashed toward Naruto. Yamato, seeing this, went wide-eyed. Sakura, no! Shouted Yamato. I have to do my part and help save Naruto. That's why I trained under Lady Tsunade, thought Sakura as she reached Naruto and threw a chakra-enhanced punch at him. Naruto sidestepped the punch before having to jump back when Sakura threw a chakra-enhanced kick at him. However, Naruto saw as Sakura disappeared in cloud of smoke. A clone, thought Naruto. He then looked up to see Sakura coming down with her right foot aimed at him. Heaven kick of pain! Shouted Sakura as she came down. Naruto, however, jumped out of the way just before Sakura's kick hit the ground, causing the floor to crack and shoot up. The blow was so severe that it cracked the walls and the ceiling before the roof of the hideout collapsed. Once the smoke cleared, everyone looked toward the cliff to see Naruto sitting there with that same emotionless look. You trained under Granny Tsunade, didn't you, Sakura? said Naruto. She's the only one who knows how to use that heaven kick of pain jutsu. He then appeared behind the pinkette and struck her with a chop to the back of the neck. Sakura's eyes widened as she felt herself slipping into unconsciousness. I couldn't was Sakura's last thought as she fell forward only for Naruto to catch her. Naruto gently laid the unconscious Sakura down before turning to face Sasuke, who had managed to get free of Yamato's grip. Sasuke made a couple hand signs before gripping his left wrist. His left hand became encased in lightning as he charged up a Chidori. I'm taking you back, shouted Sasuke. Naruto held out his right hand as he charged up a Rasengan. It's over, said Naruto. Yamato quickly grabbed the unconscious Sakura before getting himself and Sai away from the area. Lightning and wind whipped around the two former best friends as they stared each other down. One determined to save his friend from the darkness. The other determined to continue immersing himself in the darkness. Finally, after having briefly seen their past conflict from 2.5 years ago flash before their eyes, Naruto and Sasuke launched themselves at each other. Naruto! Screamed Sasuke. Sasuke! Screamed Naruto. Chidori! Rasengan! The two jutsus collided with each other just as they had all those years ago, causing a black sphere of energy to form around the two. However, white cracks formed on the sphere and spread all along it before the sphere exploded. When the dust settled, Yamato reappeared with Sai and Sakura before looking to find a battered and bloody Sasuke whose left arm was covered in his own blood. He then noticed Sasuke was looking toward the cliff and looked there also only for his eyes to go wide. There stood Naruto completely unharmed. I'm done holding back against you, said Naruto in an irritated tone as he held out his right. What? He wasn't fighting at full strength, thought Yamato. Naruto started charging a Rasengan before it became encased in lightning. He then held it up before 4 blades came out of it and began rotating around it. Suddenly, however, a hand grabbed Naruto's wrist, causing the jutsu to dispel as he looked to his right to find that Orochimaru was responsible for interrupting. I wouldn't use that jutsu yet, said Orochimaru. Besides, we need them. Naruto glared at Orochimaru. Let go, said Naruto in a cold and menacing tone. I'd listen to Lord Orochimaru, said a voice, causing Naruto to look to his left to see Kabuto. Give me one good reason, said Naruto. Orochimaru chuckled. How about them taking out as many Akatsuki members as possible for us? Asked Orochimaru. Naruto glared at Orochimaru. That's a pitiful excuse, said Naruto. Kabuto sighed. The Akatsuki are hunting the tailed beasts and have already gotten their hands on the one tail. They'll come after you sooner or later. So why not have them take out as many as possible so that way your battle with Itachi will go undisturbed? Explained Kabuto. Naruto looked toward Kabuto before his hand went limp in Orochimaru's grip. Bright boy, said Orochimaru as he let go of Naruto's arm, allowing to fall by Naruto's side. Naruto looked down at the beaten Team Kakashi. Get in the way again and I'll crush you. That's all, said Naruto. Suddenly, Orochimaru, Kabuto and Naruto's feet all were engulfed in green flames that slowly rose up their bodies and made the parts that already were engulfed disappear. Wait, Naruto! Shouted Sasuke as he made one last attempt to convince his former best friend to come back with him. Naruto then pulled out a pink gem and tossed it to Sasuke, who caught it. Sasuke found a note tied on it that was addressed to Sakura. He then looked back up in time to see his former best friend and the two sound ninja disappear. 6 months later. It had been a full 3 years since Naruto parted ways from the Hidden Leaf Village now, and a full 6 months since his fight with Team Kakashi. He was currently sitting on a rock above the new hideout while awaiting Orochimaru to come start the next phase of his train. Orochimaru's illness is starting to hinder my training, and on top of that my strength is at level beyond even his. Not to mention he intends to take over my body soon. I think it's about time for me to put my plan into effect, thought Naruto. Suddenly, thousands of sound ninja appeared all around Naruto. What's the meaning of this? Asked Naruto in that same emotionless tone. Orochimaru then appeared along with Kabuto. I think it's time to test the power you've gained so far, Naruto, said Orochimaru with a sadistic grin. Which is why you will face 5,000 of my followers. All Jonin and Umbu. Naruto stood up before 4 shadow clones appeared. Going to need help? Asked Kabuto. Naruto rolled his eyes. As if. I simply want to get this over with as quickly as possible, said Naruto. Orochimaru chuckled. Hehehehe, very well, said Orochimaru. Then let's see if you can beat them within 3 minutes. Naruto looked toward the group of sound ninja. I'll only need 2, said Naruto before he and his shadow clones took 1,000 apiece and rushed headlong into the army of Sound Ninja. Orochimaru and Kabuto watched as Naruto and his clones took on the army of Sound Ninja with ease. Orochimaru chuckled as he watched his vessel plow through the Sound Ninja like they were nothing. Soon that will be my body. I had my doubts about forsaking my original plans of having the Sharingan, but this worked out nicely instead. Far better than I originally hoped, thought Orochimaru. He ha 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 ha, laughed Orochimaru. He and Kabuto then noticed that Naruto's shadow clones were gone and Naruto was sitting on the rock he had been perched on when they appeared surrounded by 5,000 defeated Sound Ninja. Well done, Naruto. And without a single fatal blow, said Orochimaru. But you need to let go of your mercy. A ninja must be ruthless. Compassion will be your downfall. Naruto looked toward Orochimaru with a glare. Unlike you, Orochimaru, I only kill if needed. Not if I have a choice, said Naruto as he stood up and headed into the hideout. That afternoon, Orochimaru was in his bed going through a rough coughing fit. Cough, 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 Orochimaru coughed as blood leaked out of his mouth. Kabuto looked on in worry. This is gonna require administering a rank 10 pill, thought Kabuto. He then handed Orochimaru a glass of water. This damn body is at its limit, said Orochimaru. Kabuto walked toward the door. Wait here. I'll go get the medicine, said Kabuto before opening the door, stepping out and closing it. Outside the room, Kabuto turned toward the 2 Umbu-level Sound Ninja guarding the door. Don't let anyone in there unless I'm with them, said Kabuto before he started walking down the hall toward his lab. Lord Orochimaru's current body won't last much longer. Tomorrow, or better yet tonight, we must perform the transference ritual. Meanwhile, Naruto was in his room meditating when his eyes snapped open. Time to go, said Naruto as he stood up. He then disappeared. Orochimaru's room. The 2 Sound Umbus standing guard heard footsteps approaching before seeing Naruto walking toward them. Halt! Lord Kabuto ordered us not to let anyone in without him by their side. Including you, Naruto Uzumaki, said Sound Umbu number 1. Naruto glared before disappearing. He then reappeared behind the 2 Sound Umbu, followed by them dropping to the ground unconscious. I didn't ask to be let in anyway, said Naruto before turning toward the door. He then unsheathed his katana and rested the blade on his shoulder. He lifted his left hand toward the door before it became encased in lightning. The curse mark overtook the left side of his face. Chidori spear, said Naruto as a spear of lightning shot toward the door. Inside the room, Orochimaru was still sitting on his bed while waiting for Kabuto to return. Where is he? Thought Orochimaru. Suddenly, a spear of lightning shot through the door and impaled Orochimaru in the right shoulder. Arg! Grunted Orochimaru as he looked toward the door. The door then split in half to reveal Naruto with his left hand encased in lightning, and the spear extending from it. I knew you would come for me, said Orochimaru. Naruto looked at him with an emotionless expression. Then you know what my intentions are, said Naruto. I can be merciless even to you. He then walked toward the right side of the bed before lifting his katana above his head with the intention of cutting Orochimaru in half. The snake Sannin quickly opened his mouth before spitting out a white snake. Naruto stopped his movement and watched as the snake then spat out another Orochimaru. The Chidori spear dissipated as the curse mark receded. I am the only one who can give you the power to defeat Itachi, said Orochimaru. You were, but now the illness has ravaged your body beyond the point of no return. I dare say that you won't survive the night even if I don't kill you. And besides, you have nothing left to teach me, said Naruto. Orochimaru chuckled. He, then I guess it's time I claim my new body, said Orochimaru as he launched himself at Naruto, but the young Jinchuriki jumped to the left to dodge. Orochimaru then opened his mouth and outpoured thousands of snakes that shot toward Naruto. The snakes swarmed around Naruto before being blown away. Orochimaru's eyes widened in shock at what he saw. Naruto's whisker marks were darker, and his eyes were red with slits for pupils, but he was surrounded by red chakra that took the shape of a fox with 2 tails. Naruto, 9 tails, 2-tail mode, looked toward Orochimaru with a glare. As I said, I can be merciless even to you, said Naruto. He then extended his chakra-clawed hand toward Orochimaru and grabbed him before slamming the snake Sannin into the ground. He then walked over to Orochimaru before taking his katana and stabbing the snake Sannin in the chest. Orochimaru looked up at Naruto's cold red eyes before his own gold ones rolled into the back of his head. Naruto removed his katana from Orochimaru's chest before the red chakra dissipated and his whisker marks and eyes returned to normal. He then turned and started walking toward the door before quickly turning back around and hurling his katana at a giant white snake that had Orochimaru's features and hair. The katana impaled the great white snake before pinning it to the opposite wall. How did you know? Asked Orochimaru, great white snake. Naruto smirked. I may be stronger than you, but it takes more than that to bring you down, said Naruto. However, he suddenly found himself in a strange place with a fleshy ground. Suddenly, the fleshy surface began to rise up around Naruto, pinning him in place. Another part of the fleshy surface rose up before revealing Orochimaru's face. Where the hell am I? Asked Naruto. Orochimaru chuckled. This is the universe inside my body. This is where the transference ritual takes place, said Orochimaru. Now it's time to claim what is rightfully mine. As he said this, the flesh covering Naruto began to fully engulf him. Just as it was about to completely cover him, however, it suddenly turned black and melted completely away. What? Exclaimed Orochimaru. The transference ritual is being rejected? Suddenly, 3 large black tendrils rose up. Orochimaru looked toward Naruto to see that his eyes were red with slits for pupils. You thought that a Jinchuriki would be easier to control than an Uchiha, but you were mistaken. You claimed to be a genius and yet you made the most common mistake. Now you and your dream die here, said Naruto, Nine-Tails Chakra. The tendrils then moved toward Orochimaru. No! I am Orochimaru. I am the one who will unlock the secrets of nature. I am immortal! Screamed Orochimaru as he was engulfed by the tendrils. Naruto's eyes returned to normal. You were chasing a hopeless dream. The secrets of nature will always remain just that, secrets, said Naruto. Reality. Kabuto had returned to find the guards unconscious. He then rushed into the room to find Naruto standing in the middle of the room. He then looked toward the opposite wall to find the great white snake pinned there by Naruto's katana. The great white snake? Does this mean the transference ritual is already complete? Thought Kabuto. Naruto then looked toward Kabuto. Kabuto, said Naruto before he walked over to the great white snake and removed his katana, allowing the corpse to fall to the ground. He then sheathed his katana before walking toward Kabuto. Which one are you? Asked Kabuto. Naruto stopped beside Kabuto before answering. Why don't you guess? Suggested Naruto. Kabuto fell to his knees. Then Lord Orochimaru is, said Kabuto. Naruto then walked out of the room. Hallway. Naruto walked out of Orochimaru's room. Now that I've absorbed Orochimaru's power, it's time to take out Itachi, but first I'm gonna need a team, thought Naruto. Right. First up is Suigetsu. With that, Naruto proceeded toward the lab. Laboratory. Naruto arrived in the lab to find the door to the holding tank sealed shut with 2 Jonin-level sound ninja standing guard. Halt! Only Lord Kabuto and Lord Orochimaru are allowed in here, said sound ninja number 1. Orochimaru is dead, said Naruto as he continued walking toward them. Both ninjas' eyes went wide with shock. What? Exclaimed both ninja. Naruto then disappeared before reappearing behind both ninja. Both sound ninja dropped to the floor unconscious. Naruto looked toward the door. Better hurry before Kabuto gets over his shock and sounds the alarm, thought Naruto. He then unsheathed his katana before the blade became cloaked in lightning chakra. Naruto then swung his katana straight down and split the door in 2. Naruto proceeded into the room to find the walls lined with tanks full of water. He then walked toward the one at the far end of the room. Let's get you out of there, Suigetsu, said Naruto. He then stabbed his lightning chakra-enhanced katana through the glass before cutting in a vertical line. Water leaked out before the pressure became too much for the tank and the glass shattered, causing the water to spill out. Naruto then looked down at the water as he sheathed his katana. Get up, Suigetsu, said Naruto before he slammed his foot on the ground. Oh. Alright, I'm up, said a voice before the water rose up and took the form of a human with white hair and purple eyes. He wore a purple sleeveless vest with white pants and ninja sandals. On his back was a large sword and on his belt was a bottle for keeping water. What are you doing here, Naruto? You're gonna piss off Orochimaru if he finds out you freed me, said Suigetsu. Orochimaru is dead, said Naruto, causing Suigetsu's eyes to widen. I killed him before coming down here. Well, you have my thanks, but why free me? Said Suigetsu. Because I need you and 2 others. I'm making a team. The choice is yours, said Naruto. Suigetsu mulled it over. Well, I do owe you for freeing me. Alright, I'm in, said Suigetsu. So who are we gonna recruit next? Karen. Naruto simply answered. Suigetsu groaned in annoyance. Not that woman. She and I don't get along well, said Suigetsu. Naruto turned and began walking toward the door with Suigetsu in tow. I'm not saying that you have to get along. Just cooperate, said Naruto. Suigetsu sighed. Fine, but no promises, said Suigetsu. Outside the hideout. Once Naruto and Suigetsu were out of the hideout, they began heading for the southern hideout. You do know that it's gonna take at least a full day and a half to get to the southern hideout, right? Asked Suigetsu. Naruto nodded. I know, but I know a place along the way where we can stay for the night, said Naruto. Unless you want to sleep on the hard, dry ground. Suigetsu immediately had a different opinion. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go, said Suigetsu as he ran ahead. Naruto looked on with an emotionless look. Reminds me of Konoha, said Naruto before following after Suigetsu. Tree Felling Village. Naruto and Suigetsu arrived in Tree Felling Village to find business booming. Naruto looked up at the orange and red sky and saw the sun setting. There is a house just outside of the village surrounded by a few ponds and a river, said Naruto. Before Naruto could finish, Suigetsu was already on his way there. Tsubaki and Aoi's house. Naruto and Suigetsu arrived at Tsubaki and Aoi's house to find that it really hadn't changed much. The paint was new, but that was about it. Suigetsu, seeing the large river flowing by the house, immediately ran over and jumped in. Naruto shook his head. He then walked toward the house. Naruto, is that you? Asked a voice, causing Naruto to look toward the clothing line and see Tsubaki hanging some clothes to dry. Naruto nodded his head. Yes. It's been a while, Tsubaki, said Naruto. Tsubaki smiled as she walked toward him. It's so nice to see you again, Naruto. Aoi will be so happy, said Tsubaki. She's inside. Wait here while I go get her. Tsubaki then walked inside. A few seconds later, Naruto heard running footsteps before the door flung open and Aoi flew at him. She flew directly into him, knocking Naruto onto his back as she tackled him. Now in Naruto's defense, he could have dodged, but something told him he shouldn't. Welcome back, Naruto, shouted an extremely happy Aoi as she hugged the young Jinchuriki. Naruto patted her on the head. It's good to see you too, Aoi, said Naruto. That night, Naruto, Tsubaki and Aoi were having dinner. Suigetsu, however, opted to stay in the river instead. So you're only staying the night? Asked Aoi. Naruto nodded his head. Afraid so. My friend and I are heading somewhere that would take all night to reach, said Naruto. I wonder why your friend didn't want to come in, said Tsubaki. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. I think he's part fish, in all honesty. He loves being in the water more than on dry land, said Naruto. Aoi giggled, as did Tsubaki. So how has the village been? Asked Naruto. It's doing well. Now that the villagers are able to enter the crystal caves again, the village has been able to do business with other villages, said Tsubaki. In fact, a kunoichi from the Hidden Leaf came here with 2 other ninja to pick up some crystals ordered by the Hokage. Naruto's eyes widened as he heard this. They couldn't possibly, thought Naruto. What did they look like? Aoi chirped up. Well, the kunoichi had pink hair while the other 2 had black hair and silver hair, said Aoi. They're staying at the inn. Naruto then stood up. Is everything all right, Naruto? Asked Tsubaki. Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, I'm just gonna head into town and see if they have any extra shuriken and kunai, said Naruto before he walked out the door. Naruto thought a worried Aoi. Later, Naruto was jumping through the trees toward the village. What are they doing here? Even if it's a simple mission like picking up a delivery, if they find out I'm here, then they'll try to take me back to the Hidden Leaf, thought Naruto as he arrived in Tree Felling Village. He then headed to the inn before sneaking in. Naruto crept through the halls of the inn as he made his way to the rooms his former teammates were staying in. Sensing their chakra, Naruto approached a door before carefully peering in and finding none other than Sakura Haruno asleep in the bed. Carefully, he entered the room before closing the door. He then approached the bed and looked down at Sakura's sleeping form. So they are here, thought Naruto. He noticed her combat gloves and headband were on the nightstand while her ninja boots were on the floor in front of it. He then looked closer and noticed a pink gem attached to a chain around her neck. That's, thought Naruto as he remembered tossing the gem to Sasuke 6 months ago. He then sat on the bed before leaning toward Sakura and placed a gentle kiss on her forehead. He then raised up before getting a small smile on his face. You really do have a charming, wide forehead, Sakura, Naruto whispered. Sakura stirred slightly before a small smile graced her lips. Naruto, Sakura said in her sleep. Naruto silently chuckled before making his way to the window. He silently opened it before leaping out and making his way back to Tsubaki and Aoi's house. Forest. As Naruto was making his way through the forest to Tsubaki and Aoi's house, he stopped when he felt a presence following him. Come out. I know you're there, said Naruto as he rested his right hand on the hilt of his katana. A very familiar face then appeared. Naruto smirked as he turned to face his old sensei, Kakashi Hatake. Naruto said, Kakashi? Kakashi, it's been a while, said Naruto. Naruto, what are you doing here? I honestly didn't expect to find you here, said Kakashi. Why I'm here is none of your concern. I really shouldn't be your concern anymore since I parted ways with the leaf a long time ago, said Naruto. Naruto, word has gotten out that you killed Orochimaru. Sakura and Sasuke thought that meant you were coming back home, but that isn't the case, is it? Said Kakashi. TCH, I will not be kept from my goal. Not even by you damnable leaf ninja, said Naruto. Kakashi's lone visible eye widened in surprise. Naruto, you really have fallen into the darkness, thought Kakashi. Do you think I'm gonna believe that you want nothing to do with the hidden leaf? Naruto raised a blonde eyebrow in question. What do you mean? Asked Naruto. I know what you did in Sakura's room, said Kakashi, causing Naruto's eyes to widen slightly. You still love her, don't you? Naruto growled in irritation. Whether I still care about Sakura or not doesn't matter. I will see my goal to its completion, said Naruto as he turned away from Kakashi and began walking away. Naruto, wait, said Kakashi as he attempted to follow Naruto. However, Naruto tossed a piece of paper on the ground before a barrier appeared between him and Kakashi. A barrier, thought Kakashi as he stopped in his tracks. And you won't stop me, said Naruto as he disappeared from sight. The next day. After saying goodbye to Tsubaki and Aoi, Naruto and Suigetsu continued on their way to the southern hideout. Do we have to recruit Karen? Asked Suigetsu. Naruto nodded his head. Karen is a sensory-type ninja. I'm only able to sense chakra that I'm familiar with, so she is needed, said Naruto. Man, that woman is gonna make this trip a bitch, said Suigetsu. I can always stuff you back in that tank, said Naruto. That effectively silenced Suigetsu. Southern hideout. Naruto and Suigetsu arrived at the shore to find the southern hideout out in the middle of the ocean. Suigetsu's sweat dropped. Well, now what? Asked Suigetsu. He then looked toward Naruto to see him remove his shirt before he changed into his curse-marked second state. You love water so much. You figure it out, said Naruto, curse-marked second state, as he jumped in the air and flew toward the southern hideout. Suigetsu growled. Bastard, thought Suigetsu. Inside the southern hideout. Naruto landed inside the southern hideout before changing back to normal. He then looked around. Now where are you, Karen? Thought Naruto. Suigetsu then made his way in. Yeah, thanks a lot for the help, you bastard, said Suigetsu as he walked up to Naruto. If you needed help getting across, then you should have asked, said Naruto without looking at him. Suigetsu growled. Oh, it's you too, said a voice. Naruto and Suigetsu looked back to see a girl with long red hair, red eyes and a double A-cup bust. She wore glasses, a long-sleeved purple zip-up shirt that was unzipped at the bottom to reveal part of her stomach, black shorts and ninja boots. Karen, said Naruto. Since you're here, then the rumors that Orochimaru is dead are true, said Karen. It's still hard to believe that you killed him, Naruto. Well, his illness had already weakened him, said Naruto. But that's beside the point. Karen, I need you. Come with me. Karen's eyes widened. What? I can't leave. There are still inmates here that I'm in charge of, said Karen. Fine. Suigetsu, go free all the prisoners, said Naruto. Suigetsu rolled his eyes. Yes, sir, said Suigetsu as he gave a mock salute before walking away. Karen looked at Naruto with wide eyes. Now you don't have anyone to be in charge of. The choice is yours, said Naruto. Karen then looked at Naruto's shirtless chest before biting her lip. Like I'm gonna pass that up, thought Karen as she blushed. Well, okay. Naruto nodded his head. Good, said Naruto. Karen then walked up to Naruto. But what do you need me for exactly? Asked Karen in a seductive tone as she placed a finger on his chest. Just as I thought. All muscle. Very sexy muscle. I need you for your sensory skills, said Naruto. Oh well, not exactly what I thought he needed me for, but good enough, thought Karen. She then pressed herself against Naruto. But isn't there something else you need me for? I'd be able to do anything you want, said Karen as she started to unzip her shirt. I let out all the prisoners, boss, said Suigetsu as he walked back into the room, causing Karen to quickly zip up her shirt and separate herself from Naruto. Good work, Suigetsu, said Naruto as he put his shirt back on. Suigetsu then looked at Karen before smirking. And if you're gonna seduce someone, don't just throw yourself at them, Karen, said Suigetsu, causing a tick mark to appear on Karen's forehead while she adjusted her glasses. I wasn't throwing myself at him, nor was I trying to seduce him, Suigetsu, exclaimed Karen. Suigetsu chuckled. That's what it looked like to me, said Suigetsu. Karen growled. Enough, you two, said Naruto. Now that Karen has joined us, our next destination is the northern hideout. Suigetsu and Karen looked at Naruto. Why are we going there? Asked Suigetsu. To recruit Yugo, said Naruto. Karen's eyes widened in shock. Yugo? But he's not mentally stable. He could kill us without a second thought, said Karen. Naruto smirked. You let me worry about that, said Naruto. You just locate him when we get there. But it's gonna take at least 10 days to get to the northern hideout from here, said Karen. Naruto just shrugged. Then I hope you enjoy sleeping outdoors, said Naruto, causing Karen to sigh in defeat. Suigetsu just laughed. I don't get what your problem is, Karen. What's so bad about that? Said Suigetsu. Karen got a gleam in her eye as she found a way to get revenge on Suigetsu for interrupting her and Naruto earlier. The northern hideout is in the middle of the desert, said Karen, causing Suigetsu to pale. What? Asked Suigetsu. Naruto then spoke up. Get it together. We're heading out, said Naruto as he walked toward the exit with a smirking Karen in tow. Suigetsu sighed in defeat. Shit, said Suigetsu. -9 days later. Naruto, Karen and Suigetsu were walking through a forest that was near the desert. Karen and Suigetsu, however, were dead on their feet. Suigetsu from how dry it was getting and Karen from how dirty she felt from being unable to bathe. How much further is it? Asked Suigetsu. At least another day, said Karen. Suigetsu sighed. Hey boss, there has to be someplace we can stop to rest for the night. Someplace cool with lots of water maybe? Said Suigetsu. And a shower too, said Karen. Naruto sighed. He couldn't believe how pathetic they were, and yet he needs them to help him in completing his goal. Hopefully Yugo isn't as useless as they are, thought Naruto. He then noticed a building they were coming up to. It looks like you're both gonna get your wish, said Naruto. Karen and Suigetsu looked at Naruto in confusion before seeing the building up ahead. The moment they read the sign, their eyes turned to stars. It was an inn with a hot spring. They then sped past Naruto and ran to the inn. Seems they found some extra energy to be able to run that fast, thought Naruto as he continued at his normal pace with the sun setting. That evening, Suigetsu jumped into the hot spring. Phew, that's better. May not be cool, but at least it's water, said Suigetsu as Naruto walked in wearing a towel around his waist. He then got in the water. I'll admit it is a nice change from sleeping on the ground, or in a tree, thought Naruto. So Naruto, where are you from exactly? Asked Suigetsu. That's nothing for you to be concerned about, said Naruto. Come on, spill it. You already know that I'm from the Hidden Mist and the Bichibanshi is from Hidden Grass. So where are you from? Said Suigetsu. Naruto sighed. Hidden Leaf, said Naruto. Hidden Leaf? You mean that village Orochimaru wanted to destroy? Asked Suigetsu. Naruto nodded his head. That's the one. I actually fought Orochimaru back then to protect that village with the stupid dream of becoming Hokage. In the end, I woke up to reality and realized that no matter what I did, the villagers would hate me," said Naruto. "So why did they hate you?" asked Suigetsu. "Because I'm the Ninetales Jinchuriki," said Naruto, causing Suigetsu's eyes to widen in surprise before he whistled. "But doesn't that mean you have to be careful how angry you get, or it'll," said Suigetsu. Naruto shook his head. "The fur ball and I came to an agreement. I don't piss it off and it don't try to take over," said Naruto. Suigetsu nodded his head in understanding. "So why hasn't the leaf tried to get you back yet? I know that the hidden villages all have to have a tailed beast, so I figured they'd be busting their balls trying to get you back," said Suigetsu. "When you're constantly moving between hideouts, it makes you difficult to locate. And they've tried a couple times to bring me back, but I proved that I was too powerful," said Naruto. He then got up and stepped out of the water while Suigetsu dove under. Karen then walked in wearing nothing but her glasses and a towel. "Karen, what are you doing in here?" "This is the men's hot spring," said Naruto with a raised eyebrow. "Oh, is it? I wasn't paying attention," lied Karen. Now to seduce the hunk into action. Karen then removed her glasses before setting them on the bench and smiling a seductive smile. "But since we're alone, I figure we can get to know each other on a more personal level," said Karen in a seductive tone as she blushed. "Not interested," said Naruto. Karen then pressed herself against Naruto. "Oh, stop playing hard to get. Tell you what," said Karen as she gripped the knot in her towel. "How about I give you a little peek at what I have to offer?" As she said this, Karen undid the knot in her towel, allowing it to fall to the floor. Naruto could now see everything from Karen's perky nipples to her cleanly shaved. Karen had to hold in her giggling as she saw Naruto's unchanging expression, but his cheeks began to turn red. "He's blushing, which means I'm beginning to wear him down," thought Karen with a blush of her own. "Well, what do you say, Naruto?" At that moment, however, Suigetsu resurfaced. "This is the live hello," exclaimed Suigetsu as he saw Karen's current lack of attire. Karen's eyes widened before she quickly snatched her towel off the floor and secured it around her petite form. "SS Suigetsu? What the fuck are you doing in here?" screeched Karen as several tick marks appeared on her forehead. Suigetsu smirked as he leaned back in the water. "This is the men's hot spring, Karen. So I could ask you the same thing," said Suigetsu. Karen growled. "You idiot!" screamed Karen as she picked up a bucket and hurled it at him. Suigetsu's eyes widened before the bucket hit him in the head. Naruto, however, had slipped out during the ensuing chaos. Naruto sighed. Just a little longer, and it'll be all over," thought Naruto as he made his way to his room. The next day, after redressing and paying for their stay, Naruto and his companions were back on their way. "We should reach the northern hideout soon, so be ready for anything," said Naruto. Karen and Suigetsu nodded their heads. "Right," they said in unison. Northern hideout. When they arrived at the northern hideout, they found that the inmates were out roaming. Naruto then turned to Karen. "Karen, is Yugo with any of these inmates?" asked Naruto. "Give me a minute," said Karen as she made a hand sign and closed her eyes. After a couple of minutes, she opened them again. "No, it seems Yugo isn't out here," said Karen. Suigetsu sighed. "Well, at least that saves us the trouble of picking him out from all of them," said Suigetsu. "These inmates are the result of Orochimaru's curse mark experiments," said Karen. "He threw them here when the curse mark drove them to insanity. So far, there are only 7 successful curse mark bearers and 5 of them are dead." Suigetsu's eyes widened slightly as he remembered something. "Say, Naruto, don't you have a dash?" asked Suigetsu before being interrupted. "We'll just have to force our way through," said Naruto as he unsheathed his katana. Suigetsu gave a malicious grin as he grabbed his sword. "Finally a chance to cut loose," said Suigetsu. "Can I tear him apart?" Naruto sighed. "Just don't kill any of them," said Naruto. It was Suigetsu's turn to sigh. "Fine," said Suigetsu before he and Naruto dashed toward the large group of curse mark test subjects. Karen, however, was blushing as she watched Naruto mow through them with ease. "Oh, what a hunk! When he first came to Orochimaru, I didn't think much of him, but now, Naruto Uzumaki, you will be mine one day," thought Karen as she began to daydream of a life with Naruto. "Karen," said Naruto, waking said Kunoichi from her daydream. "Huh," said Karen as she looked at Naruto. I said let's go, said Naruto as he sheathed his katana. Karen then looked around at all the unconscious inmates. Right, said Karen. Soijetsu, meanwhile, was snickering. She was so caught up in her perverted thoughts about Naruto that she never realized we were done, thought Soijetsu. However, a rock suddenly struck Soijetsu in the back of the head, causing him to fall face first into the sand. Karen, the one responsible, huffed as she followed after Naruto. Inside Northern Hideout. Naruto, Karen and Soijetsu, who recovered from the blow he took, walked through the Northern Hideout with Karen pointing out where to go. However, they soon came to a fork in the road. Which way now, Karen? Asked Naruto. Karen closed her eyes as she felt for Soijetsu's chakra. She then opened them before pointing left. He's that way, said Karen. About time, said Soijetsu as he started walking that way. However, as Naruto started heading that way, Karen grabbed his arm and pulled him down the hall on the right. What is it, Karen? Asked Naruto. Karen then looked at Naruto with a blush. Yugo is actually this way, said Karen as she pointed down the right hallway. Naruto looked at Karen with mild curiosity. Then why did you lie and say he was the other way? Soijetsu is going the wrong way, said Naruto. Karen puffed out her cheeks. Soijetsu is annoying, so I said that to separate us from him. He'll catch on eventually, said Karen. Naruto sighed, but decided to let it go. Then are we close? Asked Naruto. Karen nodded her head. Yeah, he's just a little further, said Karen. Then let's go, said Naruto as he started walking with Karen in tow. Meanwhile, Soijetsu, who was still going the wrong way, sighed. Hey Naruto, do we really have to recruit Yugo? I mean, we can always find someone else, said Soijetsu. When he didn't get a response, he turned around to find Naruto and Karen gone. That bitch, said Soijetsu with a growl. Later, Naruto and Karen walked down a hall before arriving at a large metal door. This is it. Yugo is inside, said Karen. Just so you know, Yugo is the source of all the curse marks. Naruto gave Karen a curious look. What do you mean? Asked Naruto. I mean, he has a special enzyme in his body that causes him to go berserk. Orochimaru captured him and extracted this enzyme from him and developed the curse mark from it, said Karen as she approached the door. As she grabbed the handle, however, Naruto grabbed her shoulder and moved her away from the door before gripping the handle and opening it. Suddenly, a figure with orange hair and matching eyes with a gray t-shirt and shorts came flying out of the room. The left side of his face was covered in black flame-like tattoos and his left eye was black with a gold iris. His left arm had morphed into a gray spiky club. You! I'll kill you first! Shouted Yugo, Berserk State 1, as he lunged at Naruto and thrusted his left club-like fist at the rogue ninja. Naruto held up his arms to block the attack, but he and Yugo smashed into the opposite wall, causing smoke to shroud them. Naruto! Shouted Karen. Her eyes widened, however, when the smoke cleared to reveal Naruto in his curse-mark second state using his webbed hand-like wings to block the attack. He then spread his wings, forcing the berserking Yugo back. The curse mark then receded as Naruto put his shirt back on. Yugo, I'm not here to fight with you. I just want to talk, said Naruto, normal, as he pulled himself out of the crater in the wall. No talking! I'll kill you all! Shouted Yugo as he lunged at Naruto again. Suddenly, Soijetsu appeared and blocked Yugo's attack with his sword before forcing him back. You might as well forget trying to get through to him. In his current state, Yugo only knows one thing, said Soijetsu as he had an evil grin on his face. I'm gonna enjoy tearing you apart. Ha 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 ha. Let's go. I'm gonna break every bone in your fucking body, shouted Yugo. Enough, said Naruto. However, Yugo and Soijetsu ignored Naruto's order as they dashed at each other. However, just as they were about to reach each other, Naruto walked between them before white snakes came out of his sleeves and wrapped around the two of them, effectively stopping them. This is Orochimaru's dash, thought Soijetsu. Don't make me repeat myself, said Naruto in a warning tone of voice. Suddenly, the markings on Yugo's face receded as his left arm and left eye changed back to normal. Certain that they wouldn't attempt to attack each other again, Naruto released the jutsu, and the snakes receded back into his sleeves. Who are you? What do you want? Why am I out of my room? Asked Yugo, normal, as he began to panic. Karen sighed in relief. Now that his berserking urge has subsided, he is back to normal. said Karen. Naruto looked at Yugo. Yugo, I need your power. Come with me, said Naruto. Yugo shook his head. I can't. What if I lose control again? Said Yugo. I will stop the rampage if necessary. I will be your cage, said Naruto. Yugo looked at Naruto in disbelief. How can you stop the rampages? Only Kimimaro could stop them, said Yugo. Kimimaro is dead. He died for me, said Naruto. Yugo's eyes widened in recognition. Then you must be Naruto Uzumaki. Kimimaro told me how you were Orochimaru's chosen vessel. The one to replace him, said Yugo. Naruto nodded his head. That is correct. Now, will you come with me? Said Naruto. Yugo thought it over for a few minutes before answering. In a way, you're sort of like Kimimaro's reincarnation, said Yugo. Very well. I'll go with you. Good. Now let's get out of here and I'll explain why I need you three, said Naruto before he turned and began walking back to the exit with Karen, Suigetsu, and Yugo in tow. Outside the northern hideout. Naruto and his companions made it out of the hideout before he turned toward them. The reason I've recruited you three is because I need your powers to help me achieve my goal. From here on, we move as a team. I'm not asking you to get along with each other. I'm saying that you at least need to cooperate. From here on, we will be known as Hibi, said Naruto. Hibi has but one objective: the destruction of Itachi Uchiha. Akatsuki Hideout. The remaining members of the Akatsuki were gathered together. Suddenly, the image of the Akatsuki leader appeared. So what's with this emergency meeting? Asked Kisame. Orochimaru is dead. It seems the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is responsible, said the leader. Another man spoke up. What? Orochimaru was mine to kill, shouted the outraged man. Calm yourself, Deidara, said the leader. Another man with an orange mask then spoke up. Yeah, Deidara. Wouldn't want you to get too heated up and cause your detonating clay to blow up, said the man. Deidara looked toward the man with a glare. Shut up, Toby, ordered Deidara. While we're on the subject of dead members, where are Haiden and Kakuzu? I haven't seen them check in yet, said Kisame. They are dead as well. Sasuke Uchiha and the other Hidden Leaf Ninja are responsible, said the leader. Kisame smiled a vicious smile as he looked at his partner, Itachi Uchiha. Your little brother never fails to amaze, Itachi, said Kisame. Itachi remained silent. I'd watch your backs if I were you. Naruto Uzumaki is not as weak as you think him to be. And I can guarantee that you, Itachi and Kisame, are his targets. We can no longer wait. I am ordering the immediate capture of the Nine-Tails, said the leader. And remember, bring him back alive. With that said, the Akatsuki leader's image disappeared. Well, things are definitely getting more interesting, Itachi, said Kisame. Itachi remained silent before he and Kisame's images faded. So, what now, Deidara? Asked Toby as he looked at said bomb clay user. Deidara had a look of deep thought before he got an evil grin on his face. Toby audibly gulped. I don't like when you get that look on your face, Deidara, said Toby. Suddenly, Deidara's image faded. Hey, wait for me, Deidara, shouted Toby as his image faded. Meanwhile, Naruto sneezed as he and the rest of Hibi were eating in a diner while searching for clues on Itachi's location. Are you alright, Naruto? Asked Yugo. Naruto nodded his head. I'm fine, Yugo. Someone was probably just talking about me, said Naruto. He then looked down at his bowl of miso ramen. Not as good as old man Tuchi and Iams, but decent enough, thought Naruto. Maybe once I've dealt with Itachi, then I'll go back. Naruto then got a sad smile as he realized what he thought. Like I'd be able to set foot in the village. Sasuke and Sakura would welcome me back with open arms, but everyone else would, thought Naruto. What's with the look, Naruto? Asked Karen as she broke Naruto from his thoughts. Naruto shook his head before masking his sad smile with his usual neutral expression. Nothing, Karen, said Naruto before he finished his bowl of ramen. Let's go. Naruto then stood up before paying for the meal and heading toward the exit. Yugo and Karen stood up and followed after Naruto. Suigetsu, however, remained seated. To hell with that. I'm ordering seconds, said Suigetsu. However, Karen approached Suigetsu and grabbed the back of his shirt. Let's go, Suigetsu, Karen said angrily before yanking Suigetsu out of his seat. Hey! Shouted Suigetsu. Later. Naruto, Suigetsu, Karen and Yugo were walking through a field when they stopped. Naruto then turned toward the other three members of Team Hibi. I want you three to continue searching for information on Itachi's location. Get as much as you can. Got it? Said Naruto. Yes. All three said in unison before they disappeared. Naruto sighed as he walked over to a rock before taking a seat. Those three remind me a lot of the old Team 7 back in our Genin days, thought Naruto. He then looked up at the sky as memories of his past came flooding back. Flashback. A younger Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno and Sasuke Uchiha were sitting on the roof of the Ninja Academy with their new sensei, Kakashi Hatake. Let's start with introductions, said Kakashi. You know what I mean. Likes, dislikes, hobbies and hopes for the future. That sort of thing. Naruto immediately raised his hand. Yes? Asked Kakashi. I think you should start by introducing yourself, sensei, said Naruto with Sakura and Sasuke agreeing with the blonde. Kakashi nodded his head. Alright. My name is Kakashi Hatake. I don't have any likes or dislikes and I have lots of hobbies. As for my hopes for the future, well, I haven't really thought about it, said Kakashi. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura all sweat dropped with one thought in mind. That doesn't tell us anything. All we really learned was his name, all three thought. Kakashi then pointed toward Naruto. Alright. You in the orange? You're first, said Kakashi. Naruto gave a big grin. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like many types of ramen. My hobby is sampling the many different flavors. I hate the 3 minutes you have to wait after pouring the boiling water into the instant ramen cups and my dream is, said Naruto, to become the Hokage so then everyone will have to respect me. Oh boy, besides his dream this kid has got ramen on the brain, thought Kakashi before pointing at Sakura. You're next, Pinky? Sakura nodded her head. My name is Sakura Haruno. The things I like are or the person I like is, looks at Sasuke and blushes. And my hobby is, looks at Sasuke and blushes again. My dream is to, looks at Sasuke, said Sakura. Sasuke gave Sakura a curious glance. Why do you keep looking at me? Asked Sasuke. Sakura's cheeks turned red before she giggled. And? Asked Kakashi. Sakura snapped out of her thoughts before continuing. And I absolutely hate Naruto. Sakura finished, causing Naruto to face-plant the ground. Why me? Naruto thought as he cried anime tears. Kakashi sighed. This one is too worried about boys to put in any serious effort, thought Kakashi before he pointed at Sasuke. And now we come down to you, Uchiha. Sasuke just folded his hands in front of his face as he glared straight ahead. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't really like anything and I hate almost everything. My hobby is training and what I have is not a dream for I will make it a reality. I'm going to restore my clan and destroy a certain someone, said Sasuke. Naruto nervously gulped. I hope he doesn't mean me, thought Naruto. Kakashi nodded his head. Well, it seems I have a ramen-loving idiot, a fangirl and a too serious Uchiha. I'm gonna have my hands full with these three, thought Kakashi. The Jonin then stood up. Alright, meet at the training grounds early tomorrow morning, said Kakashi. Naruto quickly spoke up. Are we going on a mission? Asked Naruto. Kakashi shook his head. No, I'm gonna put you three to the test. All Jonin sensei put their students through a test before they are allowed to become ninja, said Kakashi. At this, Naruto grew a tick mark. Hey, you can't do that. We're already ninja, shouted Naruto. Sakura nodded her head in agreement. That's right. We became genin after we passed the final exam, said Sakura. Kakashi, however, chuckled. That exam is child's play. This exam is the true test to see if you are ready to be ninja. Also, it has a 66% failure rate, and if any of you fail, even one of you, then all three of you will be sent back to the academy, said Kakashi, causing Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura's eyes to widen in shock. Oh, and don't eat breakfast tomorrow, or you'll throw up. See ya, said Kakashi before he disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura all three looked at each other with one thought in mind. I have to pass. Flashback end. Naruto sighed as he closed his eyes. Back then, everything seemed so simple. Get stronger, become Hokage, and then I wouldn't be looked down on. But then, all this happened, thought Naruto as he grabbed his left shoulder where the curse mark was. After I got this curse mark, everything seemed to go to hell. Naruto then shook his head. This is no time to be regretting what is past. Itachi, I'll make you tell me what really happened the night the Nine Tails attacked, thought Naruto. He then looked toward the forest as he felt a presence. Come out. I know you're there, said Naruto. Immediately, Deidara and Tobi appeared. We've been looking for you, Nine Tails, said Deidara. Deidara, are you sure he's Nine Tails? He doesn't appear to have 9 tails and he doesn't look like a fox, said Tobi. Deidara looked at Tobi with a glare. He's the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. How the hell did you get into the Akatsuki, asked Deidara. Tobi scratched his head in thought. Luck? Said Tobi, causing Deidara to face plant the ground. Naruto's sweat dropped. And people used to call me an idiot, thought Naruto. Deidara then stood up. One more word out of you and you'll wake up in a hospital with 3rd-degree burns all over your fucking body, Tobi, Deidara growled out. Tobi immediately made a zipping motion with his right hand over the lower part of his mask where his mouth was underneath it. You two, said Naruto, gaining Deidara and Tobi's attention, are with the Akatsuki. Tell me where Itachi Uchiha is. Deidara chuckled. Wouldn't you like to know? Unfortunately, you won't be getting to him because you're going to be coming with us, said Deidara. Naruto just glared at the two. I'm afraid that won't be happening. Regardless of the fact that the Nine Tails made my childhood a living hell, he's still a part of me. He'll be a part of me until the day I die, said Naruto. Deidara chuckled. Hey, I'm afraid you don't have a choice, said Deidara before he tossed some clay spider bombs at Naruto. The rogue ninja, however, quickly unsheathed his katana and cut the clay spiders in half. He then looked at Deidara to see him making a single-hand seal. Naruto's eyes widened as he noticed the clay spiders began to glow. Shit! Cursed Naruto as the bombs exploded, clouding him from vision. Ahu, I think you got him, Deidara, said Tobi. However, Naruto suddenly came rushing out of the dust cloud with a large Rasengan in his right hand. Deidara growled as he held up his right hand in a single-hand seal. As Naruto got close, he thrusted the Rasengan into Deidara's stomach, causing the clay user's eyes to widen in shock. Giant Rasengan! Shouted Naruto as the large Rasengan slammed into Deidara's stomach. The jutsu twisted the bomb clay user's stomach before the jutsu grew even larger, consuming Deidara. Tobi quickly leapt into a tree to escape the blast. Oh Deidara, you idiot! You went and got yourself killed! Shouted Tobi. Alas, I knew thee well. When the resulting dust cloud settled, however, Deidara was nowhere to be seen. Naruto looked around for the bomb clay user. Where is he? That wasn't strong enough to kill him. I need him alive to find Itachi, thought Naruto as he looked all over for Deidara. Would you shut the fuck up already, Tobi? Shouted a voice. Naruto and Tobi looked up at the sky to see Deidara riding a large clay dragon. Tobi sighed in relief. Deidara, you're alive. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried I was gonna have to find a new partner, shouted Tobi. Deidara's eyebrow twitched as a tick mark appeared on his forehead. Just shut up and get it ready, said Deidara. Aye, sir, said Tobi as he saluted before disappearing. Naruto just glared at Deidara before pointing his right hand toward him. Naruto's hand became encased in lightning before the electrical surge shot forward at Deidara. However, when it almost reached Deidara, it fizzled out. Naruto growled in irritation. Damn it! He's staying just out of reach, thought Naruto. Deidara then tossed a few clay birds at Naruto. The Nine Tails Jinchuriki quickly backflipped to avoid the birds, causing them to collide with the ground and explode. Naruto looked up at the flying clay dragon and saw as a portion of the tail sunk inward before the mouth opened, revealing a miniature clay dragon. Deidara then fired the mini clay dragon at Naruto, but the Uzumaki quickly moved left to dodge. Predicting it, however, Deidara made a single-hand seal. The mini clay dragon then changed direction and followed Naruto. Just as it was about to hit him, Naruto quickly leapt back, causing the mini dragon to hit the ground and explode. Naruto landed and skidded to a stop before looking back up at Deidara. Heh, not bad, said Deidara before making another hand seal. Another portion of the large clay dragon's tail sunk inward before it opened its mouth, revealing another mini clay dragon, but this one was larger than the last one. However, this one has a little more bite to it, said Deidara before launching the mini clay dragon at Naruto. The mini clay dragon flew straight at Naruto before impacting and causing an explosion greater than the one before. However, Naruto leaped out of the smoke and skidded to a stop. What? Asked Naruto when he looked down to investigate what his foot hit. Deidara smirked. Gotcha, thought Deidara as he made another hand seal. Instantly, the spot Naruto was standing on blew up, consuming the Uzumaki in the blast. Deidara's smirk widened as he looked down at the large cloud of smoke. I think I finally got him. Now to just capture him and take him back to headquarters, thought Deidara. However, his smirk fell when the cloud of smoke receded. Naruto was on one knee shirtless, but his hair was a sickly pale orange and reached down to his waist. His skin was gray, he had a black X on his face, his nails resembled claws, and he had two webbed hand-like wings protruding from his back. Naruto looked up at Deidara to reveal the whites of his eyes were black while the iris were red and his pupils were now slits. Orochimaru's curse mark, huh? Didn't know it could grow wings, thought Deidara. He avoided the blast by flying upward, however, it seems the blast burnt his legs a little. Suddenly, a few feet away, the ground split open before Toby popped out. Hey Deidara! It's ready! Shouted Toby. Deidara looked toward his partner and nodded. Good, now get out of here, said Deidara. Naruto glared at Deidara. Guided missiles from the air and land mines from below. To top it off, he's staying just out of range of my attacks, thought Naruto, curse mark second state. Deidara chuckled. It's the coordinated attacks from the air and the land mines from below that are preventing your movement, said Deidara. That's the point of the C2 explosives. The ground is littered with land mines to keep you from moving around. Naruto just chuckled, causing Deidara to growl in irritation. What's so fucking funny, asked Deidara. Your little art is the only way you even stand a glimpse of a chance against me, said Naruto as he smirked. Why don't you come down here and actually attack me yourself? Because honestly, your art is pathetic. It doesn't even have the right to be called art. Deidara's right eye twitched as he saw red. With Toby. Oh, if there's one thing you never say in front of Deidara, it's that his art is pathetic and shouldn't be called art, said Toby from his perch in a nearby tree. He then looked toward Naruto. What are you gonna do now, Ninetales? Said Toby as a red gleam shone from the single eye hole in his orange mask. With Naruto and Deidara. You little shit! I'll show you that my art is better than anyone's, shouted Deidara as he made a single hand seal. Another section of the clay dragon's tail sunk into the tail before it opened its mouth, revealing a mini clay dragon that was larger than the last two. Naruto's smirk fell as his webbed hand-like wings twitched. Deidara, however, noticed this. Oh no, you don't! Die! Screamed Deidara as the large clay dragon shot the mini one at Naruto. The Ninetales Jinchuriki looked on wide-eyed before quickly grasping the handle of his katana. The mini clay dragon impacted with its target, causing a massive explosion. Once it settled down, all that was left was thick black smoke. Did I get him? Thought Deidara. He then noticed Naruto's katana come spinning out of the smoke before impaling the ground. Deidara smirked as he figured he finally managed to put down the Ninetales Jinchuriki. Probably should have held back, but oh well. The leader can simply put the plan on hold until a new Ninetales Jinchuriki appears, thought Deidara. However, his smirk fell when he looked back down to find the smoke had cleared to reveal Naruto on the ground, still alive and missing his right webbed hand-like wing. Still alive, huh? Said Deidara before shrugging his shoulders. Oh well, you shouldn't have used your wings to shield yourself. Now you can't fly with just one wing, Naruto then held up his left fist and yanked it backwards, revealing a wire Deidara hadn't noticed him holding onto. Deidara looked behind him to see two demon wind shuriken coming right at him. He quickly made the clay dragon do a barrel roll to the right to avoid the incoming shuriken. The shuriken passed him as Deidara smirked down at Naruto. Did you honestly think that would work? Said Deidara as the clay dragon opened its mouth to reveal another clay dragon that was twice the size of the last three. Fuck capturing you! Die, Ninetales! As he shouted this, the clay dragon shot the mini one at Naruto. Reacting quickly, Naruto leaped at his katana. Deidara's smirk widened. Lateral movement? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Land mines, or missiles. Naruto Uzumaki is dead, thought Deidara. However, Naruto landed on his katana. He then looked up at a shocked Deidara as he stood on his right foot on the hilt of his katana before he held out his right hand and formed a Rasengan. Suddenly, 4 blades of wind nature chakra came out of the Rasengan before Naruto aimed it at the large clay dragon. He used his katana to check for land mines and create a foothold for himself, thought Deidara. Wind style, Rasen Shuriken! Shouted Naruto as he tossed the Rasen Shuriken at the clay dragon. Deidara's eyes widened in shock at the incoming jutsu. It's too fast to avoid, thought Deidara. He quickly leaped off his clay dragon and watched as the Rasen Shuriken struck it before turning into a large sphere of wind nature chakra. As he landed on the ground, Deidara saw his clay dragon being torn to shreds as though the jutsu were thousands of blades cutting it at rapid speeds. Naruto's curse mark receded back to its original spot on the left side of his neck. His features returned to normal, while his hair returned to its original spiky blonde and normal length. The last to change back was his eyes, which returned to normal white with blue iris and normal round pupils. What little remained of the clay dragon came crashing back to the ground, causing Deidara and Naruto's eyes to widen in shock. Shit! The landmines, thought Deidara as he leapt into the trees. Naruto made a couple of hand seals before extending his left hand towards some nearby trees. White snakes came out of the curse mark before they shot toward the nearest tree and wrapped around it. They then pulled Naruto away while he quickly grabbed his katana. The remaining pieces of the clay dragon hit the ground, causing the landmines to go off, resulting in multiple large explosions. When the explosion settled, Naruto looked around for Deidara while the snakes receded back into the curse mark. He then leaped back into the open field, which was now a crater. Where is he? I know he got out of the explosion alive, thought Naruto. He then quickly leaped back to avoid clay birds that tried striking him. Why won't you die? Shouted a voice, causing Naruto to look up and see Deidara flying on a large clay bird. He also noticed that the Akatsuki member had discarded his Akatsuki cloak, revealing that underneath he was wearing a sleeveless black ninja shirt with a chainmail undershirt. He also noticed that both of Deidara's arms seemed to be stitched on, suggesting that they had been severed a while back. Naruto smirked as he stood up straight. The reason I won't die is because I need to learn the truth from Itachi. Once I do, then I intend to return home, said Naruto. Deidara continued to glare at Naruto until he suddenly smirked. And why would a rogue ninja like you want to go back to the Hidden Leaf? You'll still be treated like shit, said Deidara. Naruto shook his head. You wouldn't understand. I have a few people waiting for me there, said Naruto as an image of Team 7 flashed before his eyes. Deidara's smirk grew wider. Like who? Itachi's little brother Sasuke? That guy acted like he was better than everyone else and wanted revenge on Itachi for the massacre of the Uchiha clan. Your old sensei Kakashi? He treated Sasuke better than you and didn't even bother to really train you at all. Or your old teammate Sakura? Said Deidara. That pink-haired bitch couldn't care less about you. Naruto glared at Deidara for calling Sakura a bitch. She always loved that Sasuke more than you, said Deidara. She's just a little pink-haired whore. Red chakra began pouring out of Naruto's body as he saw red at Deidara calling Sakura a whore. She's probably fucking that Sasuke right now, as we speak, said Deidara. She's just a pathetic little whore dash. Roared Naruto as red chakra shot up to the sky in the shape of a pillar, interrupting the clay user. The Nine-Tails Jinchuriki was unable to stand Deidara bad-mouthing Sakura anymore. Deidara readied himself for Naruto's next attack, but went wide-eyed when the red chakra pillar dissipated. Naruto had transformed. His entire body was covered in thick red chakra that resembled an incomplete nine-tails. He had 2 fox ears protruding from his head, his eyes were completely white, all his teeth were sharp, and he had 4 red tails swaying behind him. And for the exact description, look up the fight between Naruto and Orochimaru in Naruto Shippuden. Roared Naruto, Nine-Tails, Four-Tail mode. He crouched down on all fours before opening his mouth. A black ball of chakra formed in his mouth before the out-of-control Naruto shot the ball at Deidara. Seeing the danger immediately, Deidara leaped off of his clay bird. When he landed, he watched as the black ball of chakra struck the clay bird and caused an enormous explosion. He then looked toward the four-tailed Naruto only to see the Jinchuriki rushing right at him at near blinding speeds. He quickly dug his hands into the bags on his belt, but found he was all out of detonating clay. Shit! Cursed Deidara, who looked back at Naruto only to be struck in the side by a clawed hand. The four-tailed Naruto's clawed hand ripped open Deidara's side, causing blood to spray out as it launched the clay user to the left. Deidara landed on the ground and skidded painfully to a stop. He clutched at his now open left side to try to stop the bleeding. Shit, I'm all out of detonating clay, and now the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is going berserk. I hate to admit it, but it looks like I need to retreat for now, thought Deidara. However, before he could even sit up, Naruto landed on his chest, breaking his rib cage in the process. He then grabbed Deidara's arms and ripped them clean off, causing blood to spray out of the stumps that were left. Alahewawaha! Deidara screamed in agonizing pain. Naruto then stabbed a clawed hand in the right side of Deidara's chest, causing the clay user to cough up blood as he continued to scream in pain. Enough! Stop, please! Deidara begged, for he couldn't stand the pain. The four-tailed Naruto, however, held his head up, and the four tails behind him curled toward his head as another black ball of chakra formed. What are you? Asked Deidara as he watched the sides of Naruto's mouth crack to allow him to open his mouth wider than humanly possible. The black ball of chakra fell into Naruto's mouth before the Jinchuriki slammed it shut. He then looked down at Deidara as the corners of his mouth let out a little smoke. Deidara's eyes widened in horror as he realized what the out-of-control Naruto was about to do. No, please don't, Deidara begged. In response, however, Naruto swung his clawed right hand over Deidara's throat. Blood poured out of Deidara's throat as the clay user's pleas turned into gurgling when his throat opened up. Naruto opened his mouth and then fired the black ball of chakra directly at Deidara, causing another enormous explosion. When the smoke cleared, it revealed an unharmed four-tailed Naruto standing on the remains of Deidara's shirt and the device that he wore over his left eye. Roared Naruto before the red chakra dissipated, leaving behind a slightly burned Naruto before he collapsed to the ground. With Toby, who had witnessed all this transpire, sighed. Deidara should have known better than to provoke a Jinchuriki. Especially one who has yet to gain control over his tailed beast. Said Toby. I wonder if I should bring in Nine Tails now, or not. He then looked at the unconscious Naruto from afar before chuckling. I think I'll let him enjoy his freedom a little bit longer, said Toby before the air around him began to swirl and distort. He then disappeared in the distortion. Later. Naruto, normal, regained consciousness and opened his blue eyes only to see the concerned faces of his fellow Hibi teammates. Are you all right, Naruto? Asked Karen as she gently helped the Jinchuriki sit up. I'm fine, said Naruto as he gripped his side. What are you three doing here? Suigetsu spoke up. Well, we were in town trying to get information on Itachi when we heard this huge-ass explosion. We all looked toward the source and saw this pillar of red chakra shooting into the sky. Since you're really the only one with that colored chakra, we thought you were in trouble and came running only to find you passed out here. Suigetsu explained. Naruto looked around the crater that was once an open clearing only to find the charred remains of Deidara's clothes and the device he wore over his left eye. That's right, said Naruto. I fought 2 Akatsuki members and killed one of them. The other one got away, I think. He then stood up, but lost his balance and leaned into Karen, much to the red-haired Kunoichi's pleasure. Naruto is shirtless and leaned against me. Yes, thought a blushing Karen. Naruto, you're seriously injured. We need to get you help, said Yugo. Naruto then had Karen help him sit back down. I know a few people who can help, said Naruto. The other 3 members of Hibi gave Naruto questioning looks. Who? They all asked in unison. Naruto bit his right thumb, causing a little blood to leak out. You'll see soon enough, said Naruto before he slammed his right hand on the ground. A summoning seal appeared on the ground before Team Hibi was shrouded in smoke. When the smoke cleared, they were gone. A cloud of smoke erupted from a seal that formed on the ground. When the smoke cleared, Team Hibi appeared. Karen, Yugo, and Suigetsu looked around at their surroundings to find lush grass, springs of water, and frog statues. However, what really got their attention was... Hey, what the hell is with the friggin' gravity? Exclaimed Suigetsu, who found it difficult to move. Karen and Yugo also found it difficult to move. It's because the climate is thicker here on empty Mayaboku, said a voice. The 3 other members of Hibi looked around before they looked at Naruto, who was chuckling. Hey Sage Gramps, said Naruto. The 3 other members of Hibi looked at Naruto in confusion, who was still leaned against Karen, before he weakly pointed towards something. They followed where he was pointing only to find a small toad that was a turquoise green, had orange eyes with rectangular pupils, white hair in the middle of his head, and wore a tan hooded cloak. Naruto boy, what happened? Asked another voice that seemed panicked. Suddenly, a female purple toad with the same eyes as the male one and wore the same cloak appeared on Naruto's lap with a worried look. Hey Granny Toad, said Naruto as he smiled weakly at the female toad. The male toad, Fukasaku, spoke up. Naruto boy, what happened to you? Who did this? Asked Fukasaku. Naruto sighed. An Akatsuki member named Deidara. Don't worry, I beat him, said Naruto. He then blinked his eyes to get rid of the black spots he was starting to see. I'll explain later, but could you help me? I think I'm starting to lose. Naruto started before he passed out. The female toad, Shima, quickly leaped off of Naruto's lap. She then looked at Karen. You lass, do you know medical ninjutsu? Asked Shima. Karen looked at Shima in surprise before nodding her head. A little, yeah? Said Karen. Shima nodded her head. Good, then help me get Naruto boy into the hut. I'll need your help healing him, said Shima. Karen threw Naruto's right arm over her shoulders before gently lifting the unconscious Jinchuriki, albeit with difficulty due to the heavier gravity of empty Mayaboku, and began leading him to the hut with Shima leading the way. Later, after healing Naruto to the point that the Nine Tails healing factor could take over and finish the rest, Karen bandaged up Naruto's head, having bandaged his stomach as well. She then looked to Shima, who was wetting a rag to clean off the blood splatter on Naruto. Lady Shima, may I ask you something? Asked Karen. Shima looked at Karen and smiled. Of course, lass, said Shima as she cleaned off more of the blood splatter. What do you know about Naruto? I mean, why did he leave the hidden leaf? Asked Karen. Shima's smile fell as she sighed. Even though he claims that it's to get the truth about the Ninetales attack on the leaf the day he was born, that isn't the case. The real reason is because he just couldn't stand how he was treated in the village, said Shima. And the final straw was his teammate, Sakura, paying more attention to another teammate of his, Sasuke. He's always loved Sakura since the day he met her, but she loved Sasuke, so he kept his feelings for her a secret. Shima then glared.